I mean, for both of these teams, I just think you come into this game with vastly different feelings, right? For Felician, you put up a good fight against one of the best teams in the entire country this year in Wilmington, and you were very close to coming back at the end. Meanwhile, for Jefferson, you had a 4-run lead going into the 8th inning and found a way to lose that game. It was a great rally from Goldie Beacom, but that was only 45 minutes ago. How you find a way to reset and get back on the mound or get back in the hitter's box, it's really quite impressive if Jefferson finds a way. I just don't know how you do it.
I mean, I need a smelling salts after all that, kidding. Let alone the players on the field. And like I said, you just watch kind of you go from, hey, we have our fast track to potentially a championship appearance to we got to fight for our lives in one swing, and then 45 minutes got a uniform change and just a couple soft tosses later, and here we go. Thomas Jefferson University, the 3 seed versus number 4 seeded Felician. That makes sense, but how we got there is twisty-turvy, to say the least. And let's meet the lineups here for Felician before we get any further. It's Hayden Walters at third base leading off. Jose David Medrano on left field, followed by Luis de la Cruz at catcher. Rocco Bresniak, he's in right field. Bryce Curry at DH bats fifth. Ernesto Polanco at second base. Braden Walsh, the lone change, at least, of who's batting in here. A couple different positions changing from first game at first base. Brandon Petrick in center field, and Matthew Skrivanik, who had some nice plays at short and a couple timely hits in game 1. He rounds things out, and it's
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about the defense now for Jefferson, donning their home light blue pinstripe jerseys. I really like these uniforms as well. It's Malin in left, Tiburcio in center, and Beato Mora patrolling the waters in right. Holub at the hot corner, Goldhill at short, Egner at second, Coyne at first. It's Tremetta Gomez behind the plate. Battery mates, of course, with Patrick Karbach out on the mound.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of breaking pitches from him early. You saw a lot of those during his warm-up pitches. A 4.91 ERA. This is his 12th appearance, his 10th start. Tossed 55 innings, 5 home runs given up, 54 Ks to 21 walks, and a batting average against of just south of 260.
He's coming off what might be his best outing of the year, his third outing of going 7 innings, but that ties his longest of the season. Gave up 2 earned runs in those 7 innings of work on 3 walks and 3 strikes, 3 hits, and this was all against Chestnut Hill only exactly a week ago.
And the one thing also to note about that was an elimination game as well. They lost. The only team left in this tournament that did not sweep their first-round opponent. It was a Game 1 loss to Chestnut Hill, in which they had to basically put the season on the back of Patrick Karbach. And they're doing it again here. Again, it's win or go home. This is Game 1 of our losers bracket. This one into the night sky in right field, but not too terribly deep, as Beto Mora is there to make the catch. About the same spot that walk-off home run was. Max jumped out of his seat. I almost jumped out of my seat as well.
Yeah, Cody, we're on the same wavelength there, and it's just interesting how Municipal Ballpark plays, because we've seen a few of these hits today where they look like rockets off the bat. They're hit very hard. They look like they're going to be home runs, and they just die about halfway into the outfield, and that was a pretty good example from off the bat of Hayden Walters.
And on the flip side of the coin, there's been some where it's like, all right, that's tagged, but can of corn, and then it's like, oh, that fielder is running straight back. That's not usually a good sign, as Jose David Medrano had a couple of hits in Game 1 against Chase Fleming of Wilmington, was really the only guy to get to him until that 7th inning, and another theme that all 4 teams have employed is they're going to let their starters go, but maybe a little bit too long.
Yeah, it's absolutely a theme through the first 2 games of this tournament. I mean, all 4 starters went 6+ innings in this one, and I think all 4 of them ran out of gas in the last couple of, we'll call it half innings of work. So really interesting to see how these 2 coaches in an elimination game today will deploy their bullpens and how early they deploy their bullpens.
Yeah, the one disadvantage, you have a loss, but the other disadvantage is now you're going into that second tier of pitchers. Obviously, you'd probably throw your ace on top of your best bullpen arms if it's a close game. Both teams were part of close games. I think 4 pitchers used by Jefferson in Game 1, so I think only a couple of them threw substantial amount of pitches. But it's going to be a tough one. That's why we have our handy-dandy crude pitching. And this one over to third base. Scooped in. No, not scooped. That's going to get away. It's going to be an error on the third baseman, Holub. And that's going to be a runner on after the E5. But it was Tyler Bem went 111 pitches in 7 1/3. Jefferson also used Aiden Barber, Orion Fraley, and Kevin Baez. None of them hit 15 pitches. So theoretically, in a spot, they could probably be used, but they'd probably rather not go there. But at the point, you'd rather not be doing a lot of things today, but you got to do, because it's either do them today or you might not get a chance to do them tomorrow.
Yeah, it's win or go home time for both of these teams. And think about Jefferson as well. They're basically playing 18 straight innings here of baseball. So they didn't commit a single error in that first game going up against Goldie Beacom. Now in the first inning of game number 2 for them tonight, it's an error already.
And Luis De La Cruz, a guy that can make errors turn into nightmares. And I guess the question we got to ask you, Max, would you rather be the team that played earlier in the day and had a hole and maybe get cold, get a little tight, and have to really warm up back again, or the team that goes right into it?
It's a good question. I typically would say I'd rather be the team that plays first, especially given the way that today's games have just shaken out. I mean, again, having to reset for Jefferson is it's a nightmare. I mean, how do you end up coming, mentally so quickly back from a loss like that? It will be massively impressive if they find a way to win this game today. So, yeah, generally I would say I want to go first, and today especially I'd want to go first.
2-1 the count on De La Cruz, the power-hitting backstop who has, I believe, 11 home runs for him this season. Runners going, and they got him picked off on the way to second base, and they convert it. Great move by the lefty, and knocks down the runner. And without a pitch being thrown, they pick up an extra out.
Yeah, officially call it 1-3-6 on that pickoff move there. And Jose David Medrano, only 6 for 10. Now officially he'll go down as 6 for 11 in that category of stolen bases. So he's only a little above 50% there. Pretty interesting move to try to send him again.
Yeah, I think the analytics would say if you're stealing at a 75% clip or higher, then go. If not, then keep your butt home. He tried to go, and obviously a good move at the advantage as the lefty. And that is in there for a strike on the inside corner. A little chillier as the day's gone. It wasn't really exactly. It looked a lot nicer than it actually was. Really, really beautiful day. Some winds, but it was only about 55 degrees max today. This one center field, and now down to 52 degrees. It keeps carrying, and that's going to one hop. Again, center field seems like the trick house mirror of the field. And that's a double that you thought was maybe 290 feet in the air. Ends up being almost 400 over the fence.
Yeah, wasn't that bad by Luis De La Cruz right there for Felician University. It's pretty rare that you see a catcher hitting in the 3 spot because you're so used to catchers being more defensive. But that was a rocket. And as you mentioned, it was hit so high off the bat that you thought that would have been straight away center field. But Tiburcio just kept going back. And all of a sudden it had a chance of going out of here. Really good at bat with 2 outs there for De La Cruz.
Yeah, picking up 1,100 OPS from your catcher is such a blessing. Oh. Really, if you had a 750 OPS, you were like, all right, cool. Bresniak will check in for the first time. Was a DH in Game 1. It shifted out to the field. Rocco playing right field. Also, fire name alert. Rocco Bresniak is pretty sick.
Yeah, no kidding.
Beats Cody Shalafoo, I'll tell you that. Strike 1. And now I'm mad at my mom. Shout out also Mother's Day this weekend, fellas. Remember to go. And they got a good jump over to going to third base with the righty in the box. Makes it a tough throw, and a stolen base is not only getting some offense from your catcher, but some stolen base threat. His 7th swiped bag of the year.
Yeah, not afraid to send them. It's Felician University in an elimination game right now. De La Cruz now 7 for 8. And I think a good throw might have gotten him, but doesn't really matter now.
Flicks it foul, and it is 1-2. Yeah, definitely helps with a righty. You rarely, if ever, see a stolen attempt at third with a lefty in the batter's box. Just makes it harder or easier for the catcher to throw with no obstruction. And you're entitled to your space as a hitter. This one is probably going to stay in. It is! And Coyne over there right against the dugout wall makes the grab. So no run score. They do get a man over to third base, but a caught stealing gives an extra run or extra out to Thomas Jefferson University, and they're able to get out of it, stranding that runner at third.
Sure.
All right, so it's going to be Jefferson's time to shine. They put up a lot of offense late in their first game of the day. Not much to show for the first, about 7 innings or so, but they got there, and this is the lineup pretty much unadjusted from Game 1. Luis Vito Mora is in right field leading off. Justin Egner at second base, Alexi Goldhill at short, and Andrew Holub, who had the home run, one of the home runs we saw in Game 2 of today. He plays third, bats fourth. Mason Coyne at first base, batting fifth. Ryan Mullen in left field. Julio Frometa Gomez behind the dish. Trip Capers at DH. And Jordan Tiburcio in center field at a couple bunt hits and a couple timely 4-hit day, and all of them seemed like they were big. He is going to round out the order.
Taking a look at the defense for Felician University, left to right in the outfield, it's Jose David Medrano in left, Petrick in center, and Rocco Bresniak patrolling the waters in right. Hayden Walters at the hot corner, Matthew Skrivenik at shortstop, Ernesto Polanco at second, and Braden Walsh over at first. It's Luis de la Cruz behind the plate, battery mates, of course, with Sadier Vicio.
And let's check in on Sadier Vicio. Is going to be our Game 3 starter. Game 2 for Felician. 4.35 ERA. Got second-team All-CACC honors. He has started every game he's appeared in, so a perfect 11 for 11, a 260 batting average against, or 259 if we're being factual. 34 strikeouts, 22 walks. A guy that can give some guys some of the free base and won't really punch out at an extraordinary clip, but he gets the job done, and the lefty's first pitch is ball one to Beato Mora.
This is a big at-bat in this game right away because Beato Mora, he went 0-for in Game 1 for Jefferson, one of the more prolific hitters, so really got to expect him to make a big difference in this game if Jefferson wants to advance.
Did pick up a couple of walks late to help load the bases or put more pressure on Goldie Beacom, but obviously a little bit too little too late, and looking for him to have a multi-hit game I think would be the preference from him and anyone rooting for Jefferson. Vicio gets him jammed. It's going to be tough, though. 3 converging. It's going to fall. Polanco couldn't get to it, neither could Bresniak, and Walsh kind of just out there for funsies, and that's going to fall to the left of Polanco and be a seeing eye single, I guess. Just kind of found the spot and dove down.
Yeah, it looks like a line drive in the scorebook, and as we mentioned, for Beato Mora, I mean, he took an 0-for in Game 1, got on base a few times, but it's got to feel good just to get a base knock and get back on the right track again.
Elite chip game from Beato Mora, and he's going to probably look to go to second base, and he's getting there quick, fast, and in a hurry. The throw is nice, but not exactly in the time, and just like that, a bloop single turns into a double with the stolen base added in.
Yeah, Beato Mora now 16 for 18 stealing bases this year, so always a threat whenever he can get on base.
Yeah, he's bounced around a little bit. This is third different institution playing ball at. From the Dominican Republic. And ball one to Justin Egner. Second straight year being named second team all-conference. Studying exercise science with the Rams.
Yeah, and above 1,000 OPS, 11 doubles, 5 homers. That's just entering today's slate of games. So.
Yeah, the disclaimer on these numbers are they have not been adjusted since these two teams have played, but are still going to be quite similar. That's going to be potentially the first run of the ball game, and it is, and the home team strikes first with a couple of singles and a run scored without an out being recorded through the first two batters.
Man, I've talked about it a lot through the beginning of this game, but I just think it's one of the more difficult things you'll do, trying to reset after a heartbreaking loss like that. And Jefferson to jump out to a 1-0 lead for both of your first batters of the game to get aboard via the base hit. Really impressive stuff from the Rams.
Yeah, that is big time, and Alexi Goldhill is big time as well. A guy who's going to walk a good amount. He's not going to strike out. The ball is going to be put in play when he is in the box. 13 doubles, a couple of home runs, and 28 walks. Make it 42 if you add in his hit by pitches. The ball gets away. Just skipped under the glove of De La Cruz, and what seemed like a harmless ball in the dirt turns out to be a runner at second base.
It's going to technically go down as a wild pitch, and it should, but it's kind of a tough one for Vicio out on the mound, because I would say that's equally on De La Cruz, who really has been spectacular throughout the course of this day. But both of these catchers are now starting their second game today behind home plate. Should be interesting to see if their defense starts to falter a bit.
Yeah, also another thing to kind of keep in mind, and we've alluded to it and touched on it as the day has gone on, but as the day goes on, the mound gets a little less comfortable. The batter's box, especially the right-handed batter's box, gets a little more uncomfortable for the hitters and the pitchers. And we've already seen a couple of pitchers kind of be digging at the mound, at the rubber, and trying to find the right footing. And you've seen Vicio kind of tail off a couple of times already, and he walks Goldhill here.
And not the start you were looking for. Your Sadier Vicio, and an elimination game, a couple of base hits, and a pretty easy 4-pitch walk there to maybe the best overall hitter in this lineup. The issue is that doesn't get much easier whatsoever, because Andrew Holub is the next batter up, and we already know how dangerous he is.
It's going to quickly turn into a mound visit. Just want to give a shout-out to the coaching staff of Felician, led by 23rd year in charge, Chris Langen. We talked about all of his accomplishments last year. The best season in school history or program history with a College World Series berth. Didn't stay there long, but got there. Has been to the NCAAs 4 times under Coach Langen and have won a few CACC championships, most recently coming a couple of years ago in 2023. Was an assistant coach at Felician for a couple of years before getting elevated to the head role, and played at Bloomfield and Keene, where he was 2-time All-Conference. Dustin Jarvis, his 9th season, was also assistant coach at Rowan Burlington for 2 years as a pitching coach, and played at Dominican, so very familiar with the CACC through his coaching and playing career. Steve Langen, I believe, twin brother, if I remember correctly, of Chris Langen. 9th season here, but his second stint, he spent a decade with the Golden Falcons from 2002 to 2012. He's their hitting/third base coach. He also played at Bloomfield and Keene, just like his twin brother. Mike Atan, his 7th season, coached at Queens, SUNY Olds Newberry, and then John Cooley, the pitching coach, and then Gary Puente, Michael Gonzalez, and John Downey Sr. round out the staff. So just shout out them and all they've accomplished here, most of those guys being here for the last few years. Pop straight up as Holub wants that one back. He won't get it, though, and that is going to be infield fly. First time we've seen that.
What a bounce back. I mean, that's all you can really say for Vicio. Still a lot of work to do with only 1 out, but that was probably the most dangerous hitter in the most dangerous spot you'll face in this first inning. Now it's just about following it up for the next couple of outs.
It's very funny if the pitching meeting went, hey, get this guy out. Okay. Sure. I never thought of that. Either way, 2 pitches and what could be potentially 3 outs. They start to turn it, and they buff it. Doesn't quite reach the outfield, but will score a run, and the error on Polanco. It would have been a little bit tough with the slow, not quite roller, but just a little bloop over to second base. They tried to turn it, did everything they could but just missed the bag, and an E4 brings home a run, and it's getting a little bit ugly here early.
Yeah, only 2 half innings into this game, not even a full inning into this game. We've already seen an error on each side. That one, a particularly costly one. It would have gotten the second, possibly third out of the inning. Instead, it's now 2-0.
I can't assume the double play, and probably would have been tough with just how slow it was, but Coyne, not the fleetest of foot.
Yeah, it would have been bang-bang, that's for sure. And at the end of the day, you would have just liked a chance.
Yeah. And now instead of that, well, Coyne does have 10 stolen bases, so maybe, like you said, bang-bang regardless, but what could have been corners and at least 2 gone in the inning now turns to 2 runners on and another run scored without recording an out, which is detrimental potentially here early. I don't want to get in the hole too early. However, each game we've seen teams kind of crawl back. Jefferson only had to come up 2, but Felician came back by 4 and made it very interesting towards the end against Wilmington. A 6-5 eventual win, if I'm not mistaken, by the Wildcats. That's going to go station to station, and the runner gets in there in time. Could have potentially been close, but a good read by Coyne to move up the 90 feet and avoid the force out.
Shout out to Brandon Petrick over in center field, who did a fantastic job deking out the runner on second base. That was Alexi Goldhill on second. Petrick held his glove up like he was going to catch that one. Goldhill wasn't sure about it, so he had to stay put. If he was running on contact there, it might be a 3-0 game.
That's right. Bases are juiced and some more damage potentially on its way as the Rams try to make quick work of this Game 3. Again, elimination game, ladies and gents. Cody Chalafu and Max Stapleton here from Municipal Stadium in Waterbury, Connecticut. But, a big hit here. Potentially make it 4 or 5 runs, not more. Chopper up the middle. Is this the double play that was promised? Ooh. And not in time. Not much on the throw from Polanco going to first base. A good flip of the glove by Skrivanik, who's been awesome in the field. But another run scores, and the fielder's choice still has him on the corners and not out of the woods yet. Our Felician.
Yeah, called an RBI for Meta Gomez, but how about that little glove flip there from Skrivanik? That was really impressive from the Felician shortstop.
So 2 down in the inning. The 8th man, the bat. The man probably the best name in the tournament, Trip Capers. And now I'm mad at my mom again.
I don't know. Rocco Bresniak is pretty good, too.
Rocco Bresniak is a strong contender. At the end we'll announce the all-tournament teams. Then me and you will take care of the all-name team. I'm sure we can have 11, 12 real nice selections. 9 positions, a reliever and a utility guy. We'll come up with it. We'll let you know as the week goes on. But those 2 are headlining our team.
As of now.
As of this moment.
There's going to be some serious thought put into that.
This is more thought to the actual baseball. Let's make it very clear, at least on my end. For those that have heard my broadcast before, A, I'm sorry, but B, you know how I think.
Oh.
High, not too terribly deep, though. Coming in as Medrano has switched corners of the outfield in between games, and he is there to put it away. So the bleeding is stopped, but is it a Band-Aid or stitches? We'll see as we get to the second inning, but as of now, it's 3 runs for the Rams. They have butted heads with Visio for the first inning. So the second inning is upon us. Bryce Curry will do the honors and christen this frame. He's the DH. Ernesto Polanco, who had a costly error with bat 6. He'll try to make up for bat 6 in the game, but second here in the inning. And then Braden Walsh, who got a pinch hit at bat, part of the 5-man center field that Felician threw out there. You've heard about the $1 million infield. What about the 5-man center field? I raise you one. I believe the Cubs had the $1 million infield. Big deal back then because guys didn't make money. So 0-1 is in the dirt, blocked as Carbach goes out there. Pretty nice first inning. A one blemish on the double, which truthfully didn't really seem too hard hit, but was.
Ooh. That was just nasty right there from Patrick Carbach. I mean, you talk about crafty southpaws, and we got 2 of them in this elimination game today, but I mean, that was a backdoor slider that just found its way back over the heart of the plate. That was some really good stuff.
Yeah, especially lefties or pitchers with a slider / breaking pitch to get ahead in counts is always fun, as that one is gently hit into center field and taken down by Tiburcio. 1 down. You've seen that. We saw Blentz do that in last game. We've seen...
Yeah, Blentz I thought was going to be the best one we saw today at it, but, I mean, we've also, between Patrick Carbach here, then Chase Fleming back in game 1.
Fleming more the changeup using, but still kind of soft stuff to get ahead and use at any time. It's always a dangerous weapon.
Been a really fun showcase of pitchers today, which is not what we were expecting, to be honest with you. We've seen some good offense, obviously the walk-off in the last game, but it's been the pitchers that have stood out to me through 2 and change games.
Yeah, I mean, all 4 of them, like you mentioned, have gone 6+ in a couple instances into the 7th and well into the 7th. Everyone has hit 100+ pitches, if not right on the doorstep of it.
And you and I are both big baseball heads, and it's just very refreshing to see pitchers at this level, go back to 100+ outings and meaningful games. That's meaningful stuff right there. And I know teams will look at that too in the future when you're talking about potential MLB clubs, things of that nature.
And I understand the idea, especially at that level when you're throwing, like a lot of guys are throwing the velocity. I get it, but also it is so fascinating, exciting. I know the season didn't end up the way it did, and that's a strike 3, swing and a miss over the top. And not to bring up bad memories, but you came up in the end. Garrett Crochet this last postseason led like 115 pitches, complete game. I think he gave up 1 run or it was a shutout. The last time I was happy was that night, and that was so electric. Like watching a guy go out there and just shove for 9 innings, put it on his back. He got out of some trouble, kept the velocity up, threw like 99 in the 9th inning. That was super fun to watch.
Yeah, I think there's nothing more fun in baseball than just a dominant pitching performance. And, well, we haven't gotten that quite yet today. We've seen some really close attempts, and it's been a lot of fun.
High and away, and well high and well away for ball 1. Yeah, definitely glad. If you think the starting pitcher is dead, folks, well, tune in tonight, tune in tomorrow, go watch the replay. That one's in there nastily again. 2 strikes on Walsh.
Braden Walsh got only 1 at-bat as a pinch hitter back in game 1. He did strike out looking after going into a full count.
Chopper up the middle would be tough. Goldhill's the one to take it. Flipped over and not in time, and it also does get away at the same time. So it will be still an infield single. But that was tough, and the fact that Goldhill got it that close is pretty impressive. We've seen a lot of really good play, especially up the middle, by good routes by center fielders, and then second and shortstop have just been a Gold Glove factory here today.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and the latest example there from Goldhill, despite not being able to make the play, I mean, just to even get a glove on the ball there and keep it in the infield was impressive enough.
So Petrick, then Skrivanik, then top of the lineup if we can get there. This one well west of home plate.
Really interesting to see how Carbach will attack Petrick here. Another good name battle between these two guys, but only the second lefty and the second of two lefties he will see in this lineup going up against Felician today. So you want to get these guys out as a lefty on the mound.
Out in front, taps it to center field. Left fielder coming in as well, and it will be Tiburcio that calls off Mullen and takes it in. So a single on the second here for Walsh and the Falcons, their second base hit in back-to-back innings. They only bring up 4. Good job by Carbach to get out of the slight jam. So we'll see what Jefferson has in store. Really what Vicio has in store. Really was struggling there and some off-balance stuff and really was struggling to find the plate. And when it was good hitters counts in which the Rams were all over.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Didn't get helped out too much as well as there was an error in the field behind him, but started off this game with back-to-back singles and then a 4-pitch walk. Was able to somewhat slow it down, but really looking for a bounce back here in the second.
So Tiburcio, everyone's favorite player after game 2, and then the top of the lineup that produced a single walk before an out.
And how about Jordan Tiburcio in game 2?
So on the ground, the first easy out he's given an opposing pitcher all evening.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, he had 4 base hits, went 4 for 5, and 3 of them never left the infield. So he's been using his wheels to get aboard and make things happen. It's been working out as the 9-hole hitter for Jefferson.
So to recap, we were supposed to start today at 11 a.m., but due to some rain yesterday and some soggy field conditions, I want to make sure everything was all tight. We do have the lights here, as you can see, so no having to cramp games in because of darkness. So we were able to move the day up 2 hours, and we started at 1 p.m. It was Wilmington versus Felician, the 1 and 4 seed. A pretty fun game, all things considered. You got some offense, got some pitching, and a close game at the end in which Wilmington had punched their ticket to day 2 and in the winner's bracket. Game 2 started around, 4:30-ish or so. That one was between Jefferson here, who has obviously lost that one because they're playing here in Game 3, and Goldie Beacom, a walk-off home run and a whole bunch of stuff before that. That doesn't even give that game justice. Sends Goldie Beacom to face off against Wilmington. First game tomorrow, which I believe Max will have the call for that one as play-by-play guy, alternating with myself.
That should be a really fun one tomorrow. Crosstown rivalry between those two teams.
Yep, so an elimination game here right now, a winner's bracket game, then another elimination game. Either Goldie Beacom or Wilmington will have to play 2 tomorrow. The winner will move on to Saturday, potentially Sunday, looking at the forecast, but as of right now, Saturday. And, we'll have another elimination game, which I'll have. Then the championship series will start with Max, could end with Max, could end with myself. We'll see. But we're having some fun up here. I hope you guys at home are having fun, too. It is 2-2 against Mora here in the second.
Good at bat here by Beto Mora. This is the 6th pitch.
And through the Tony Gwynn side, but not through. Has a little bobble at third base. Keeps the runner on. So a good scoop over there by Walters, but had to look into his glove a couple times. We'll see what they rule it. Beto Mora does have some wheels, but we'll kind of let our official scorer here say that it was a infield single, which I'll agree.
I think it was the right call. It was a really hard hit ground ball. It was tough there over on the third base side. It was tough there on the third base side for Hayden Walters. I wasn't even positive he was going to get his glove down on it and keep control of the ball. So the fact that he got the throw off, I think, was impressive. And I think ultimately that Beto Mora probably would have been safe.
Again, shout out to our staff here with us this whole weekend. We appreciate them. As this was going to bleed. Yeah, Polanco can't get to it. Got a glove on it, but ended up dropping it. Another just no man's land type single here for Jefferson. It was Beto Mora in the first inning. Now it's Egner in the second. Back-to-back singles just like they did in the first inning. And some more trouble brewing for the Golden Falcons.
How frustrating do you think it must be for Sadi Arvicio out on the mound to give up 2 base hits like that? Neither of them were really solid contact. You did your job out on the mound, but, that's baseball, Susan.
I have no dog in this fight. I'm frustrated for them. And they're going to try to lay down a bunt potentially as Goldhill walked in the first, got all the way to third base, but was halted there. We'll see if they do bunt it over. We have seen by multiple teams they're not afraid to use an at-bat from the middle of the lineup player to small ball themselves into a better position. Again, if you can get these runners in and then a single by your 4, 5, 6 guy, that's 2 runs there. Goldhill, he can produce 2 runs with a swing himself, so it's kind of pick your poison.
And even just showing bunt, right? Like, obviously, Goldhill didn't end up showing bunt the second time, but just showing that you're going to be able to do that even up 3 runs. You're still threatening with it. It puts the defense at a sense of unease.
Yeah, manipulates them, and maybe they're playing in a position where you can take advantage. You see first base, it's Walsh there. Started well in, stayed well in, and then now backing out last second in there for a strike apparently.
Great job by Luis De La Cruz to really steal a strike there for his pitcher. I mean, I think that credit goes to him. As we've said, he is really impressed defensively today.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Trying to get out of the at-bat, and he will. Big strikeout to Goldhill, and now sets up, just 1 more out to get out of the situation he has found himself in. Also, first strikeout. Like we said, doesn't have the best strikeout stuff, but we'll save it for when he needs it.
Maybe that can get you going, right? Like, you only need 1 to get the ball rolling, and as of right now, no one has come in to score here in the second inning. You can certainly get out of this feeling really good about yourself.
Job's not done yet. That one scoots by, but no one able to advance. Both runners kind of went halfway, and Mora didn't have the good initial beat on it. And by the time he figured out what was going on, kind of had to stop on the brakes. Almost got Egner in trouble.
And once again, shout out De La Cruz. Was able to keep that one relatively in front of him and ultimately hold the runners right where they're at.
I was mentioning before the pitch, you can't really ease up off the gas because Holub has been the best hitter for Jefferson. He had that home run and has just been a demon all season.
And you could argue over the last month or so that Holub's been the best hitter in the conference. It was a little shocking to me that he didn't get first-team honors, but that just shows how much talent there is in the CACC. Think about it this way. In 3 games in round 1, he just went a casual 7 for 12. 4 runs, 9 RBIs.
Yeah, no big deal. Runners are off with the pitch. They're going to try to second base. I think they're left early. And if the throw wasn't tailing towards right center, Polanco, athletic, try to get the tag down. I don't know if they missed the tag or...
It's really hard for the second base umpire to see it, especially from the angle he's at. But I think at least looking at it from up here, it's equally as hard for us to see it, so we don't know. It looked like Polanco got the tag on the foot down of Justin Egner, but it was as close as it gets.
Yeah, either way, kind of throwing the ball up towards center field. This one gets away, and this one will score a run. They throw it around again. He's coming to home. They're going to try the play at the plate. Out! They got him! So they do get the third out, but they went the roundabout way to do it. A run does score on the wild pitch. Almost had two, and we will have Holub restart his at-bat in the third. Crazy way to end it, but an ending to the second anyway. An extra run for Jefferson. They find themselves up 4-0. So of all the theatrics today, probably the craziest end of an inning, front runner contender, at least top three. It's probably gonna place over the weekend, but so much baseball left to go, and we know baseball's the dumbest sport, and that's why we love it so much. Scrivanik then the top of the lineup for Felician that have to get it going. They can't go much longer without putting at least a run on the board, I don't think.
Yeah, especially with the way that Jefferson looks offensively right now. They have bounced back more than nicely from giving up a 4-run lead in the 8th inning of game 1 for them, 2 overall in this tournament, to now taking a 4-run lead as we enter the third here. As well as that, you got Patrick Carback who's just dealing through 2 innings.
So on a miss for the 1-2 count now, and kind of we asked the question, would you rather be the team that plays first and has a whole 4 or 5 hours to kind of rest up, or the team that jumped right back in? So far the bats from Jefferson have appreciated the jump right back in. Also, you think about it where you have that devastating loss we talked about, that's probably going to be a factor, but also we didn't really put in, they have to play right away. They kind of have to flush it. If that happened in game 1, then you're telling me I have to go play again 5 hours later? I'd rather do literally anything else. So maybe actually playing right away could have helped. Keeps the bats going. They just saw live pitching just a moment ago, and kind of have to flush that loss or their season's done for.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really player preference, up to the individual. But right now Jefferson's proven that. The latter point much more correct, but still a ton of baseball left.
Yeah, at least in this, if it was the other way around, we'd say, like, why would you ever play a game back-to-back ever again? That's in there. Ithalia was walking to first base, and Scrivanik will have to walk back to the dugout. Stares down the home plate umpire a little bit, asking for clarification. And that is strike 3, the second punch-out for Carback through the first time through the order.
It's one thing to, try to sell a call, so to speak, but Scrivanik looked genuinely in shock. I don't know. It looked like a pretty good pitch on the outside corner. I thought the home plate umpire made the right call there, and just some good, nasty pitching from Patrick Carback.
Speaking of nasty pitching, whatever that pitch was, it darted well. A slider, maybe even a cutter to Hayton Walters, who flew out on a full count in the first inning and take strike 1 right off the bat. Cody Shalfu here with Max Stapleton to my right. It's been a joy to share this day with him and everyone watching from home. Again, we thank you if you've trekked all 3 of these games. We love you for that, and you deserve a medal of some sort.
Also, shout out the fans who have
Yes.
stayed throughout a weather delay today. There have been many fans who have stayed for all 3 games, and the crowd noise has been fun, to say the least, throughout the first 2 games and continuing here in the third.
Yeah, not only that, but they're going to call time, I think, here is what the call is. But none of these teams, it's not their home stadium.
No.
The site is picked preseason. Post put in for the bid, and they got it, and they're not even here this weekend.
No, the closest team is Jefferson.
It's in Philadelphia. Yeah, that's
not close.
I haven't made the drive, but I'm sure it's at least a couple hours.
I would guess around 3, so it's been a really good turnout here from the CACC faithful, no matter the school that you're a fan of.
Yeah, on top of that, most of these guys probably got here for an 11 o'clock start. We weren't mentioned or made relevant of it till later on. Another backwards K, second in a row, third of the day here. That's the second of the backwards variety. But a lot of these parents probably were sitting here for an hour or 2 longer than they thought they were going to, and I don't know if they got hotels or they have to make the trip back just to make the trip back again tomorrow.
It's been a fun day, to say the least.
In there for a strike.
But right now, man, look at Patrick Karbach just out on the mound. He's now retired 3 in a row. He's only let up 3 base runners, one of them via an error, so he had nothing to do with it. It's been a really good start when they needed him the most for the veteran left-hander.
Already up past 50 pitches, so we've seen a couple deep counts. That's the only kind of knock I can throw at him, but he's been, like you said, as close to lights out as you can get here.
As you mentioned, really his second elimination game in the last couple weeks. The game against Chestnut Hill he had, exactly a week ago was basically an elimination game as well. So,
not basically, it was. They were down.
Game,
yeah, that was the game they won on game number 2. They lost the first one, had to battle back. And let's kind of give you a recap of how Jefferson got here. Again, finished up with number 3 in the tournament. And again, like we said, we'll go to my page here. Took 2 out of 3 against Chestnut Hill, the only team that we mentioned in the championship round to lose a game. They lost game 1 10-8, and then won pretty handedly 13-3, 8-2. Chestnut Hill was up 3-2 in the 4th inning of game number 1. Rattled off 6 in a row to go up 9-2. Jefferson did score 6 over the final 2 innings, but not enough. Hollop had a home run in that game. Mullen had a home run, and we'll put a pin in it there as strike 3, punching out the side. It's Skrivanik, Walters, and Madrano all down by way of the K. So we did leave you off in our story, some part in Chapter 4. We'll pick it back up. Like we said, Chestnut Hill in Game 1 of the Jefferson series. Went up 3-2, rattled off 6 in a row. Jefferson tried, but kind of failed to come back. Ben, we talked about the pitch counts. 137 pitches against Chestnut Hill in Game 1. Went 6 1/3 to get there. 9 hits, 8 runs, 4 earned, and it was much sharper here in the game we just saw a moment ago. In Game 2, scored 3 runs in the first inning, and then the game was over after that. This one was the 13-3 game. They scored 3. Holub didn't hit a home run in that one, but did go 2 for 2 with a couple walks and a double, as Holub does miss a base knock here thanks to Walters. So that one kind of a snoozer. And Game 1 was tied going into the 7th inning. So this is do or die. Winner comes here. Loser has to watch from their couches and hope they're enjoying the show. Jefferson scored 7 runs over the final 2 frames. Holub went 2 for 5 with a home run. So of the 4 completed postseason games he's played so far this year, 3 of which he's hit a dinger in. And then also, not to kind of be lost in the sauce, Carback, even though that game was kind of out of hand early, we talked about his pitching in the elimination game. 7 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts.
Just spectacular, seriously. I mean, it's one thing to do it in the regular season. It's a whole other thing to do it when the season is on the line. And this is now his second time, at least through 3 innings of work in this one today, where he has looked tremendous.
Yeah, coin up now. I will give granted here the game was kind of out of hand early, so he didn't have as much pressure.
Sure.
But still got to perform, and we're most likely, if Jefferson is the one we see tomorrow, that is through the left side, right through the 6-hole over there. And a single for coin. If we do see a Jefferson tomorrow in Game 2 of our championship doubleheader, it most likely will be Rivera, who went 6 1/3 in that game where it was really close through the innings he pitched. 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 5 walks, but did punch out 9 over 94 pitches. Carbeck had 95 in his performance. So those are 2 do-or-die games in which you got great production from your starting. And not even your number 1. Your 2 and your 3 gave you that.
No kidding. No kidding. And when we talk about this tournament in general, we got the team number 1, team number 2, team number 3, and team number 4 in terms of pitching ERA. So you know that the pitching is going to be the X factor for all of these teams.
And no upsets in the first round as all the top 4 teams made it here. The only kind of upset is Post kind of lost their opportunity to host on the last day of the season, losing to Bridgeport, while Felician, late in that game, too, I believe, gave the lead in the 8th or the 9th inning, and I was there for that game. And it was Felician who beat Dominican, and the only outcome that could have happened all day with all the tiebreakers was Felician win, Post loss, and that was the outcome we got. And then that pushed Felician, who they had a crazy sequence, and we'll talk about them a little bit later and how they got here. But, it was a crazy day.
Been an insane end to the season in the CACC. Again, these tournament games are going to be pretty meaningful, not just for the CACC championship, but for who gets selected to the NCAA tournament as well.
Yeah, all 4 of these teams participated in said tournament last season. Two balls, 1 strike, 1 out in the inning. 4 runs on 6 hits for Thomas Jefferson University. They throw over to Coyne, who, like we mentioned, has 10 stolen bases, and he's right back out there.
Again, really interested to see how Vicio attacks this lefty, the only lefty for Jefferson in the lineup. He already has a base hit, does Mallon today, against Vicio, so looking for some improvement here as the southpaw.
We'll miss it. 3-1 the count. All right, Mallon played football in high school, extra ed science major from Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. Chopper and foul. Had a 274 average, but a 400 on base percentage and a 507 slug. So the hits he did get, they were loud. 4 doubles, 2 triples, 3 home runs, and just 12 RBI. Not as much playing time as maybe some of his contemporaries, but he made the most of when he was out there. They're going to check again and again.
think about it this way, right? This is a back-to-back postseason starts for Ryan Mallon as a true freshman. It's never easy to do. You have to get a lot of trust with your coaches to do that.
Coin as well, a freshman. That one flared to the left side and foul. Yeah, not many freshman contributors here, at least in the top innings and top at-bat getters. Just those two.
On any of these teams, that's really going to be the case. There's not many freshmen D2 in general who can really contribute like that. So kudos to the young buck.
Let's get down on a knee to flip it foul. I would say Adrian Beltre style, but when he went to the knee, you know that ball went 4,000 feet. Full count, one gone. We'll see if they let Coin test second base. They haven't so far. And upstairs, elevate and celebrate for Visio.
Man, I can't describe how much easier this potential inning gets for Visio on the mound now that you got that out. You're going to have to go up against 8 right-handers in a row in the batter's box. That was the one you really wanted to get as the potential quote-unquote easy one, although none of them are ever easy here in the CACC. Either way, a really nice job by Visio to get that second out.
Exactly. Fermetto Gomez grounded out to a fielder's choice, or got into a fielder's choice, but did produce an RBI in the first inning. He helped drive in the third and final run of that frame. That's inside, and it will be the call inside. So we just skip past 9 p.m. And we thank all who have joined, if for just one game or for multiple games here. We appreciate you. Into the night sky in left field, ranging back is Moderno. He can't get to it. That's going to drop, and that's going to be another run for the Rams. Thinking third base, and getting third base is Fermetto Gomez. That's your catcher wheeling around in a triple that produces a run.
How about Julio Fermetto Gomez? Here in Game 2 for Jefferson. Got an RBI his first time up on a fielder's choice. Got his second RBI, that time on a 3-bagger. And that was just a low liner. It had extra bases written all over it, but it was the hustle from Fermetto Gomez that turned it into 3.
And we will see somebody else toss the pill here for Felician. Day is done for Visio, and we'll let you know who's coming in just a moment. Looks like another lefty. Will bring you his numbers and what to look out for here shortly. So the junior, the Stockton transfer, Antonio Sansone, will be the man on the mound. There was number 26, a 7.40 ERA, a 1.94 WHIP. He is 1-0. This is his 14th appearance, 13th out of the Arm Barn. 20 2/3 innings so far this year. He's given up 17, seems to be the number. 17 runs, 17 earned runs, 17 walks, 17 strikeouts, 1 home run. Got you there. And a 291 batting average against.
They say consistency is key. Well, it's going to be a big key today for Sansone. Just looking to stop the bleeding a little bit, trailing by 5 runs and entering with a runner on third and 2 outs. Now, this game is far from over, but you need to keep it reasonable here if you're Sansone and Felician.
It's Trip Capers, fly-out victim to end the first. They're trying to produce a similar result here to end the third. A run at least in every inning for Jefferson. 3 in the first and then sticks here in the last 2. And trying to produce a second run with Fermetta Gomez just 90 feet away after his big boy triple. And not only a catcher doing that, catcher catching your 13th straight inning.
No kidding. I'm just tired watching him from up here.
I'm just tired. 1-1 after the foul back, 2 outs. 7 hits, 5 runs in a 5-0 ball game. Just 2 hits. It's an error apiece for both squads. Chopper, third base, foul.
Man, a huge pitch coming up when deciding the outcome of this game. Jefferson has an opportunity to almost put this game out of reach. Felician, with an opportunity to try to just keep it where it's at. Chance to swing momentum to their side.
Need a good pitch here. Did they get it? They're going to appeal? Yes, he did. Come in, do a job, young fella, and he does. Strikes out Capers to leave the runner at third base. The runner left a couple of hits and a run scored by the Rams as they take the 5-0 lead after they finish the first third. All right, we're rolling here in the 4th inning. We're having fun in between innings. We should have a sitcom just for the banter in between, but they'd probably ask us to not be on air anymore.
Yeah, true.
As we are in a 5-0 game. Oh, is this going to be 5-1? The only question is it fair? Yes, it is. Home run, an absolute blast by Luis De La Cruz. The opening thought was they need a spark, and no better spark than an absolute rocket.
Holy smokes, Luis De La Cruz. We've talked about his defense today, but he's showing up with the bat as well. And, man, first pitch, knew what he wanted to swing at and did not miss. Safe to say he'll remember that one, and maybe that's the momentum swing that Felician needed here in the fourth inning.
So they get on the board. They're still down 4, but a good place to start. A little perfect swing for the home run down the left field line. It's quite dark beyond the lights here, but you got to make sure a tree's not going to fall back into play. That one was smoked is an understatement. This one's tattooed, but more on a line. Actually diving in. The dive! They got it. No fly zone in center field. Guess who? Tiburcio. He's done it on the base paths, does it to get himself hits, and does it to rob Bresniak of a sinking liner.
What a play. And what a day for Jordan Tiburcio. I mean, 4 for 5, I should say, in game 1. And this is now his second stellar play in center field between these two games. He is just having a day.
Another first pitch swing, and that one is chopped. The only thing I've got from those two at-bats is no one has respect for my voice box here doing my 13th inning of the day. No, more than that, 20-something. That is going to bend in. And that's the way to respond to two hard-hit baseballs, one for a home run, one for an out. Get ahead 0-2 and try to put this guy away as quick as possible as Bryce Curry flew out in the second, trying to avoid the strikeout. He will at least stay alive for a second here.
Interested to see how Patrick Carback can bounce back here. As you said, that's back-to-back at-bats that were very hard-hit line drives. Now ahead 0-2.
And if it was a wood bat, it'd be broken. And Curry just about a half a step shy of an infield single. Great play by Goldhill. Again, flashing some leather in an athletic toss across the diamond. 6-3 putout, but it's a little bit fancier than that. And that will usher up Ernesto Polanco. And we were talking, I think the one saving grace for Felician was that, Carback has thrown a good amount of pitches. Hasn't been too terribly efficient, but with how today's gone, 200 might be the limit, not 100.
Yeah, we were thinking about it, 60 pitches or just about that, through 3+ innings of work. You'd say the pitch count typically isn't in great shape, but he's got plenty left in the tank for a game like this.
That one's going to ricochet off the backstop and over towards the Felician dugout. I guess the one thing about Jefferson, didn't have to change dugouts. That's a hassle. So they have that going for them. That's probably helped them stay a little bit comfortable. Felician in their second different dugout of the day. Again, it'll be Wilmington, Goldie Beacom, who won their games to start the day tomorrow. And this is not Eaton. This ate up the first baseman. That's going to be an error on Holub, as he thought he had him and just bounced it. I think that's not his first time doing that either.
Yeah, it's the second E5 of this game for Holub. And, officially it does come in as an E5. Another 50-50 call, but, again, I think the right decision here. And not typical for Holub over at the hot corner, but, again, what are we in now? The 13th inning of baseball of the day for everyone, so going to expect couple of more mental mistakes as this night goes on.
Is outside and a ball, and that extends the inning. The 70th pitch for Carback is outside, but again, pitch count kind of is more of a cool thing to mention rather than a hard line here today. This is up the chute. Carback wants it. And, hey, pitchers are athletes too. So it's 5 to bat. 1 comes across the score, and the rest kind of put down gently. And Luis de la Cruz, you are a beast. So Tiburcio made a very fine catch out there in center field last half inning. We'll do the honors here in the fourth as we're approaching the midway point at 9:30 p.m. Again, we thank you all for joining us. Cody Shalafu joined by Max Stapleton, the post crew doing their darndest today to help us out, doing camera work out there, the inside stuff, statistics, producing all that stuff. They have been awesome to partner up with all season long, and we're sad to have to go on a couple-month hiatus from them, but they have been on top of their game as always, and we do appreciate that. Again, final warning of the day, Mother's Day on Sunday. So if you haven't got your gift, go scramble to it now. As that is in there for a strike, and Tiburcio had no intention of taking the bat off the shoulder, apparently. Ooh. It's in there. Strike 3.
Really good pitch there from Sanzoni, and now back-to-back strikeouts in the only two batters he has faced today. Also reminds me, you can give you the final line on starter today, Sadir Vicio. 2 2/3 innings of work, 7 hits, 5 runs, all of which were earned. 1 walk to 2 strikeouts for the southpaw, and he is in line for the loss if this result holds.
Pitch is in, and for the third time of the day, Luis Mora will check in. We talked about, hey, he probably needs a 2-hit day today, and he got that in his first 2 at-bats. Said, all right, I'm done. Well, maybe not. And Jefferson has a streak of all 3 offensive innings scoring a run. We'll see if they can match that with at least 1 here in the fourth. Felician got a run back with a home run solo shot from De La Cruz, the catcher. The all-conference catcher, second team this year.
If you're Jefferson here, I think you're at risk a little bit of getting lulled to sleep. The lead has felt safe for most of the game. It's been a comfortable one, but this is a Felician team that we know has absolutely zero quit in them. So even just scratching 1 run back in the last half frame, that can open the door for these Falcons and give them all the momentum they need.
Right. It's helped Jefferson's case where they've scored at least once every time. If they got all 5 in the first and haven't thrown up, maybe a little more worried. But definitely, like we said, this one is in the air to left field. Going back is the left fielder making the catch. Goodness. Runs off like Bo Jackson. Did he get it? I think they're saying, yeah. Someone tell Mora. And he's going back. What a grab by Medrano in left field.
And no kidding. I mean, that was a really impressive play from Jose David Medrano. I mean, had to go a country mile out there, past basically into foul territory. Again, he was already shifted a little bit to the right. Just impressive stuff from the left fielder.
And a good amount of foul territory here. Not quite Oakland Coliseum levels, but definitely got your fair share of out-of-play land, and he went at every inch of that. And I think that was dropping fair if he didn't get to it. It was slicing away. He was kind of shifted more towards the gap and able to get there. What a heck of a play, Medrano. Hand clap to you, sir.
Yeah, it was definitely dropping fair and would have easily been extra bases. Yeah, he just had to sprint well into foul territory to just stop himself afterwards. I mean, that's how fast he was going. It was really, really good stuff.
And gets the strikeout right after. They will have to throw it over to first to complete it. They will. Needed that. It is Sansone and the Golden Falcons. They definitely needed that boost. 2 strikeouts, bookending a highlight grab in left field. Again, having fun, an understatement here today. We are just having a ball. And Petrick, Skrivanik, then the top, barring any substitutions, due up here for the Golden Falcons, who got a run back and then parlayed that into a real nice inning with a couple of strikeouts and a highlight grab, trying to, again, like you said, enter that flow and keep it on their end for as much as possible. Still have some work to do, but momentum says it's on their side, at least for the moment.
You don't need to get it all back at once.
Chopper and foul on the right side this time. Usually you've seen third baseline get a lot of work. First time the first baseline has proven interesting here. 2 strikes to Petrick, who flew out, was pinch hit for in Game 1, which seems like 6 days ago now. Had a ground out to the pitcher, part of that big twisting Fantastic Four moment from the very beginning of Game 1, if you remember that, for those who have stuck with us the whole time. Upstairs and left alone.
Momentum is at times, tangible thing, and right now it's audible. You can hear it. In Felician's dugout, they are trying to just spark a rally by cheering them on and see if it works.
Flips the other way, and that will be foul. Petrick from Marlton, New Jersey, started at Shepherd and Rutgers Camden before finding a home here at Felician. Health science major. He's got hit by 14 pitches. There's always one guy on every team that just gets banged around. And swing and a miss, nasty. And I mean R-rated pitch there.
I like that. That's a
Garback.
Well, excuse me there, Cody. And That's a great call. That's a great pitch right there from Carback. I mean, that's probably the best breaking ball we've seen from him so far in this Game 3. Just not a whole lot you can do if you're Petrick at the plate. You haven't really seen that pitch been thrown in the at-bat. You've seen a good amount of fastballs and just not ready for it there.
Yeah, it seemed like a turbo sinker or one of those quick change-ups that just kind of evaded the bat. Great pitch against Petrick by Carback.
Patrick on Petrick crime.
Yeah. Carback has been dealing besides the one blemish. That's it. Inside, they got the strike out inside. Nope, excuse me, second strike. They got me. Hand up. Strike 2.
Looked like it definitely could have been. The way that Skrivenik was walking out of the box.
I saw the punch. I thought that was it.
Ooh.
Blue got me, and it's almost run in and hits him for the second time.
And Skrivenik really crowds the plate. It makes an umpire's job tough because those last two pitches pretty much in the same spot.
Yeah, third time in that area. Didn't pick it up. He struck out looking in the third inning, which was the second strikeout. Part of a 1-2-3 inning, all via strikeouts. Lifted, right field. Going back is Mora, and kind of ranges back across the body to make the catch. And a flyout looks a lot better than a strikeout, but an out nonetheless on Skrivenik's ledger.
Tough play out there in right field for Mora as well. Looked like he might have overran it for a quick second, but recovered nicely. And earlier today, the wind was blowing out from left to right. Now it's kind of swirling a little bit, so should be interesting to see if it remains a tough outfield to play.
You also have to put into perspective that ball gets over that light line.
Yeah,
you kind of lose it for a second, too. And it wasn't look like it was towering, but it was hit decent ways. And they're actually going to go check over Mora. Looks like the twisting might have strained something. And they're going over there to check, and that's not something we want to see for Jefferson. But let's just kind of walk through this one. Carback, how good he's been. He's closing in on 90 pitches, but he's been real good. 5 strikeouts. Everything seems to be working. Again, some longer counts and longer at-bats, but still he's been as advertised, especially coming off of, again, another elimination game earlier.
Yeah, I think if you had to describe it in one word, it would be clutch right now for Patrick Carback. He has been really good, as you mentioned, not the most efficient, but it doesn't really matter in a game like this. What matters is just, can you put your team in a position to win? And right now, he's got his team up by 4 runs. He's cruising. He's retired 3 in a row, and if it weren't for an error, he would have retired 7 in a row. So he's got to be feeling good. Actually, it's 7 in a row, going all the way back to that home run from De La Cruz. So I want to talk about bouncing back. He has bounced back nicely from that individual at bat.
Mora will stay in the game, which is always a good sign. Ball 1 and ball 2 to Hayden Walters.
This is a guy you would love to see get going if you're a Felician right now, and at bat that you rely on, but always tough when it's a lefty-lefty.
Outside part of the plate again misses, and 3-0, and Walters 0 for 2, and don't think he had too hot of a game 1. He did have 2 singles late when they were rallying, but did strike out once in that game as well. Does pick up the edge. The guy, you probably, the numbers suggest just go after him right here.
Feels like when Felician's having success, Hayden Walters tends to be having success as well. You know, he went 0 for 3 to start that game 1, but got an RBI single, and it really sparked the comeback and picked it up later with another single.
Oh, look what I found. It's the baseball. There's the inning. Look at that. Carback got some help, a little bit of luck, and a golden glove for the pitcher here as he is through 5 complete on his end, and the bats for the Rams are up next. So we talked about how Thomas Jefferson University has gotten here. Let's talk about what Felician's path looked like. Again, kind of got into the 4 spot. They're going to be in the tournament, but just whether they were on the road or at home come their playoff matchup in the first round, ended up swiping that 4 spot away from Post and then having to go back and play them later that week or the next week rather. They won that series 2 games to none, 6-5, 17-15 max in game 2. And let's tell you how they got there. Day 1, doubleheader day, took the lead in the 3rd inning, added in the 5th to go up 6-3 on back-to-back home runs. That was from that 8 and 9 spot, Polanco Scrivanik that we talked about a little bit earlier in game 1 about how well they did in this game. Post eventually had a 9th inning rally, falls just short by 1 run with 2 in scoring position. I believe Jesse Alfalo lined out with 2 ducks on the pond to take the lead or tie that game. Polanco and Scrivanik, wow, just decided to say his name different after saying his name the same way all day. That's always fun. Tattooed center field on a line, coming in and just moving over a couple steps is the center fielder Petrick. And a line out for Alexi Goldshill. Anyway, in that game, the 8 and 9 hitters combined 6 of 8, 4 runs, 2 RBI, those back-to-back home runs in a double. Weber, who we saw in game 1, went 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, and 6 Ks on 98 pitches. And Jendi, who we talked about, is a guy that we can see for Felician at some point, went 2 1/3 and pitched really, really well. Gave up a couple towards the end, but 60 pitches in relief. He was nice. Game 2 is where it gets exciting. We thought a 1-run victory with really high stakes final out was interesting. Post jumps up on Felician early, storms up to 7-2 lead after the top of the 4th. They score 5th in the 4th inning. Felician does, as this is going to be a tough play in the hole. The throw back. Oh baby, he got him. Polanco, what's up, young fella?
What a play by Ernesto Polanco. Man, that had base hit written all over it. Just a ground ball. I think it hopped directly over the second base bag. Polanco ranging back towards left field. Able to make the across-the-body throw. And, boy, that's not an easy play as Holub was hustling.
And put enough juice on it. Usually at second base you think, all right, maybe not the strongest arm, but he had enough, and he has to go back to make this play, and no one's going to get there. Good cover at second base by Walsh, and it'll be a bloop single by Coyne. And they do not want us to finish this story we're telling, I'll tell you that.
No kidding. And before you do, though, we got to mention, have a day, Mason Coyne here in Game 2. He's now reached base 3 times, once via an error, but the other 2 on back-to-back base hits, and also came around to score a run.
Yeah, that error that he scored was the one that Polanco jettisoned into left field, or almost into left field, and a run was able to come across because of it. As we will settle into Mullen here, they check over with the runner. Like I said, Post took a big 7-2 lead in the top of the 4th. Felician answers back with 5 in the 4th inning to tie the game. Each team scores in the 5th to end 5, with Felician up 12-9 after 5 innings. Falcons continue to punch up and end the 6th up 16-9. So the game is 16-9. The game gets called in the 7th inning around. They are playing at Farley Dickinson, and that's where they were playing that game for whatever reason, and then ended up having to go back to Felician and finish things up and resuming in that 7th inning. Post in the 8th scores a few times, but do come up just short. Falcons add on 1 to kind of bridge or lengthen the gap, and it's 17-15. Bresniak 4 for 4, a run, 3 RBI, a walk, 2 doubles, and a caught. Staley De La Cruz had a big game, 3 for 6, 3 runs, 3 RBI, 2 doubles, and a stolen base, and Felician used 6 total pitchers to get themselves into the larger of the dances that they will be playing here. Check swing, and that's going to go into the bullpen. So both teams had their craziness to get here. It was a couple of really close ones and a really odd finish for Felician, and then a couple of come-from-behind / losing game 1, have to battle back in terms of, or at least in Jefferson's case. As 5-1 they lead here, and that's in the dirt. De La Cruz, again, as always, and has been all day, real nice at blocking pitches in the dirt and keeping things at bay. Felician came into play, winning 9 of the last 10 before the loss to Wilmington. 13-3 over the last 16. Have scored 10 or more 13 times this year and held opponents to 3 or fewer 17 times. And have qualified for the playoffs in 14 of the last 18 complete seasons, and including 10 in a row. 3-2 runner will be off with the pitch. I don't think he realized that. Got a little bit of a late jump. And he will go to second base via the walk. Free pass. Sansone looks a little bit human here at the end of the 5th.
Yeah, what a contrast here for Sansone. Talking about first 4, really the first 6 batters he's faced. Very efficient, easy 6 in a row, retired. And just ran into some trouble here. First pitch single to Mason Coyne. Really good battle there to Ryan Mallon, who ended up working the walk, and looks like that's going to do it for Sansone.
Yep, so he will exit. We'll let you know who enters in just a moment here. Don't go anywhere, folks. Still having a bunch of fun. A lot of ball left here as we are halfway through this one. All right, so new pitcher is going to be the aforementioned Andrew Gendy. We talked about him a little bit coming up heroically. And, Max, let us know, how good is Andrew Gendy?
Well, Andrew Gendy is good enough to be on the second-team all-conference team this season.
You don't say.
Some really impressive numbers for the right-hander out of Matawan, New Jersey, a 4.38 ERA. This will be his 20th appearance of the year. He's also made 3 starts this season. He's got a 4-1 record, and through 39 innings of work this season, he's worked 13 walks to 38 strikeouts.
So a stopper of all stoppers and trying to keep this game at 5-1 for as long as possible. We talked about it in the recap of how they got here. He can give you length. 60 pitches thrown against Post a week ago. And we're going to see how long his leash is, where kind of empty the tank time. It's kind of a valuable weapon to have, but you have to throw it out now. You'll never get the chance to throw it out. So Gendy is in, wearing number 7 for the Golden Falcons, and he has Prometo Gomez up here, who smacked a RBI triple in the 3rd inning, last run produced by the Rams.
Yeah, Fermetto Gomez has shown that he can be a dangerous hitter so far today. You mentioned the RBI triple, but also picked up an RBI his first time around in a fielder's choice. So some productive ABs for the catcher.
This one is sent backwards. 1 ball, 1 strike. Toronto, Petrick, Bresniak are your outfield. Walters, Skrivanik, Polanco, and Walsh your infield with De La Cruz catching. And it seems like everybody's been making highlight plays today. A couple errors spread across both teams, but some of those errors are they got to the ball they had no business getting to, hence the error. Which we talked about, like defensive analytics earlier in the day, and that's kind of why fielding percentage kind of doesn't really matter much, or is kind of an outdated stat. Because there are guys who are getting the balls they have no business getting. The errors just come because they were too athletic for their own good. That goes on the outside part of the plate, and we'll hold it there as just like Sansone before him comes in, faces one guy, gets the strikeout, and we'll have a clean inning to play with in the 6th. Before that, we will have the top of the 6th for you, and still 5-1 Jefferson leads as we are about 2/3 of the way there. Jose David Medrano, Luis De La Cruz, and Rocco Bresniak are going to be your uno dos tres here. In the top of the 6th inning, Felician, they've had their comeback attempts, but they're going to need to get it started here pretty soon. Only have X amount of outs to work with as we have the top of the 6th. They'll 4 more innings of offense for them to go, but again, you're kind of clock is approaching midnight here. We're about 8:30.
Yeah, and, if you're Felician right now, I think the number one goal here in the top of the 6th inning has to be to just work the pitch count up of Patrick Carback. That was just his 90th pitch thrown right there for strike 1. You wonder how long the leash is going to be, but you just have no answers for him otherwise. So at the very least, make him work out there.
And when I say the clock is approaching midnight, I mean that both literally and figuratively. As we hit about 10 p.m. local time here, 9:52 for those who need exact times. That was Oppen out over the backstop and into the seating area. One thing, you can't really get a great view of the fans from up here where we're at, but again, they've been loud, they've been noticeable, so we know they're there.
Yeah, you can hear them, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's if a tree falls in the woods situation here, we can hear it. So Medrano made that nice catch in left field a couple innings ago, was struck out and reached on an error in the 1st inning and struck out in that 3rd inning.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, Cody. David Medrano, this will now be the 7th pitch of this at-bat. If you can get 2 more of these put together, you might knock him out of the game.
And ball 4 right on the outside, and I think everyone donning blue thought strike 3.
Yeah.
And most, I think, wearing black thought strike 3. But we are going to have a ball 4. And I think that's just the first walk given up.
And talk about command and control. I mean, that is really impressive to have your first free pass of the day. Not just any type of walk, but he hasn't hit a batter either. So,
and you'd think that number would be up the more how we've talked about he's gone deep into counts. He just hasn't lost anybody until right there. And that was still a full count where it was a borderline pitch on that to boot.
Really good pitch, too.
So put Drano at first base. You've seen his wheels in the outfield. How do they stack up on the base pass? Well, he's stolen 6 bases on 10 attempts.
He also got make it 6 for 11.
Oh, right, yeah. He had the pickoff earlier. That's correct. That's why we have you here, Max, to keep me in line. And we saw that pickoff move early. We know it's deadly.
Yeah, surprisingly good. And lefties tend to have good pickoff moves, but still not the easiest thing in the world. Certainly a weapon to use for Carback out on the mound, a la Max Fried, Andy Pettit.
Yeah, well, I watched John Lester do it, and I know it's not. I know lefties aren't automatic with it.
John Lester's a different story altogether.
Red Sox Hall of Famer as of this evening. The Red Sox didn't do a good job at getting them the win, but I think Johnny Damon, Mike Timlin, and John Lester are this year's class. I was going to give you Max Fried, too. I was going to set that up for you. As a Red Sox fan, a Yankees fan, enter a broadcast booth.
Jinx.
That's some sick joke in the industry, but here we are. We're having fun.
It's worked out surprisingly well.
Yeah. We like pretty much all the other same stuff, so me and Max, I think a friendship is sparked here. First time getting to work with you, and I've had a blast.
It's been a great day.
And I can't wait to have 2 more as another ball 4. And again, with the pitch count up, and we've seen Felician come back, this might be a put the fire out now situation. Again, Jefferson did use the most pitchers out of anybody so far today. They had 4 go in game 1, but Barber, Fraley, and Baez probably could go if need be.
And, we've talked about it throughout the course of the first couple of games, and at the beginning of this game, we've just seen kind of the same trend repeat itself time after time today, where pitchers have just reached the end of their rope, and managers have left them in a bit too long. Not saying that's the case right now with Carback, but certainly fair for it to cross your mind as a question. And this is, believe it or not, the first time all game 3 that Felician has had 2 runners on base at the same time. So this might be the biggest moment of the game for the Falcons right here.
I definitely want to come away with something Denzel Washington style. See if they can do it. Strike 1.
They almost had it in the first inning, but remember, Medrano was picked off. So
probably would have scored in the double that De La Cruz hit just after that. They throw back, and no one's there. Oh, what a dive. Stopped it from going out. Egner crept over, and the throw came to the bag. A good throw, but he wasn't there. Had to lay out and stop that from getting into center field. Put a pin in that. We'll come back to that maybe next inning and see how that plays out. Lines, past the third baseman. Olive can't get to it. They're going to pick up Mullen. The throw comes in. It's well offline. Throw into third base. No throw. RBI single. And Bresniak does get something for the Falcons, but they want more.
You can never sleep on these Falcons. I don't care if it's 10 p.m. Don't fall asleep on them because, it's 5-2 now. They got another runner in scoring position. Feels like this was the best opportunity of the game, and as was the case in Game 1, if you give them a little tiny opening, they will burst right through.
And again, this could be the last pitch that was thrown, but was it a couple pitches too late? You'll see if this is going to be the hook.
When you've only given up 2 runs, I think it's hard to say too late, but you wonder how much longer the leash is going to be, and you wonder what the anxiety levels are like for both of these coaches right now who have both kind of seen this trend play out throughout all of these games today.
They will leave Carbach out there. Again, they're, especially on Jefferson's side, not afraid to let their pitchers run. Again, almost 140 pitches in their Game 1 loss against Chestnut Hill for the starter of last game in BEM.
In the last 7 days, Patrick Carbach has thrown almost 242 pitches. My goodness.
I'd never be able to lift my arm again if I tried that. Throwing 20 pitches. And that one's in there for a strike. Another interesting note, no outs. A double play would be helpful, but that would push the lead just to 2 runs. Strike 1 will help.
If you believe in due, Bryce Curry is due for one at the plate right now. He's 0 for 2 so far in this game. Only 1 hit and 5 tries in Game 1.
This is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, still no outs. 5 runs on 8 hits for Jefferson. 2 runs on 4 hits for Felician. And a couple walks and an RBI base knock here in the 6th. First time that Carbach has looked a little shaky.
And to me, it really is amazing with the quality of pitching that Felician has faced today in both of their games. I mean, they went against Chase Fleming, who retired 16 in a row in Game 1, and now Carbach here in Game 2. They are still in this game.
Slider that caught the handle of the bat. Man, if that's a fastball, that pitch is never to be seen again.
Man, a good pitch to swing at. You know that Bryce Curry wants that bag. You know, from our vantage point, at least, you can tell that he almost just got around it in a weird way. It's a rare thing you see, but he actually made pretty good contact. Just hit it funnily. Just straighten it out a little bit. That goes a long way.
And this one straightened out in an RBI base knock. Again, the man who was due for one gets it. And 4 straight on base, 2 walks followed by 2 singles. And again, the question to ask, was it too much to push here in the 6th?
The question you also got to ask is, who do you go to if you're the Jefferson coaching staff right now? You used up 4 pitchers, including really some of your top relievers in Fraley, Baez, and Barber. Only a couple of hours ago now at this point, so it's the other part you got to debate over in that first base dugout.
Yeah, they get about a 95% chance those guys are down. You didn't want to throw, then cool all the way down, then start throwing again. And they got to try to bunt somebody over, as this is Polanco. Some movement over there in the arm barn. Can't quite see who through the wall obstructing our view, but we do know someone's out there. Send us a sign, smoke signal, something. And Polanco almost gets the knee taken off. He's just trying to lay this one down, coming all the way in. His coin's popped up.
Ooh.
And he dropped it. An error on the catcher for Meta Gomez. And that's a gift. And put a pin in that play. And we'll come back to it later.
You just root for good baseball, and the catchers today especially have played so well defensively. That's borderline heartbreaking for Meta Gomez, and what could have been such a momentum-changing, first out of this inning. And now you just give another breath of life into Ernesto Polanco and Felician.
Have a normal game challenge. Impossible today here at Municipal Stadium. All 3 have had late-inning drama. This one more mid-inning drama, but still in the back third of this game, or closing in on the back third of this game. And like I said, I think he might have got distracted with Coyne and Polanco collided there.
Yeah.
I think he just looked up for a second, and the ball was on the ground, and he had no clue. And he looked shocked that I think he felt it hit the ground. And he went, what?
And I bet you if Coyne was the one who tried making the play after colliding, it would have been runner's interference,
right,
and he would have been out.
So here he comes again, and again inside. Again, Polanco has to back up, and he Again, he gets it. And I was going to mention, we heard some sirens go back. I was like, that's an omen. I don't know for what. And the omen is Felician has just echoed that, and it hasn't gone well for Jefferson. They are just wooing over there, and it's very funny, but it's definitely distracting in some way for Jefferson. Now he's going to swing away at 2-1 and kind of take himself out. Now, if you're obviously you took the bunt away there, so the bunt's probably dead. But in the situation, if you're dead set on getting this bunt down, are you a bunt with 2 strikes guy? If you need that bunt down?
I'm a never bunt with 2 strikes guy. I like to trust my hitters and exactly that.
So this is going to be flied out to right field. Will it be enough? It will not be. Not with the lack of speed over there. The ball does get away. No one's watching it. And, again, realized well too late. And I guess the error does not come back to bite Jefferson, at least for the moment. Well, it really won't really matter much now because that batter is out. But
no, and to follow up on that point, you've already seen quite a few popped-up bunt attempts, not just in this game of Game 3, but all throughout this day today. And I just rather trust my guys swinging the bat than, even if you foul one off, all of a sudden it's a strikeout, basically.
So still not out of the woods yet. They're still leaving Carback out there at pitch 112. Here's 113 as well high. And Rometa Gomez had a kind of frog leap up to it.
I threw my hands up back here in the booth because I thought that one got by for Rometa Gomez. That was a really nice play by the backstop to not let it get by him and not allow both the runners to move up.
So I guess the scales even out. Good job catching that one for a strike. Carback has faced 24 batters. 3 have come across to score, all by his volition. 5 hits, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Both walks coming here. That's in there for a strike. Beauty, beauty, beauty.
Maybe the best pitch we've seen all day right there, in such a big spot to backdoor a slider like that. I mean, just perfection right there from Carback.
Felician has left 3 on base, trying not to add to that total. Backed away. Braden Walsh, a single, pop up to the pitcher. And now a 2-2 count with 2 on and 1 down. Ground ball would be magic for Jefferson.
He tried it.
Yep, thought about chasing, and he thought better of it, and for good reason.
And Carback went back to that backdoor slider. A really good spot to go to that pitch. In 2-2, you have a ball to work with, but I don't think you can do it here in a 3-2 count.
This is challenge me fastball, I think. And there it is. Challenge accepted. And Carback comes out the winner. His 6th K in a pivotal one, and they will let him roll.
Yeah, just a great job talking about the art of pitching earlier. That was an art of pitching throughout that at-bat from Carback. Falling behind, working his way back, using that backdoor slider a couple of different times to set up the hitter in Braden Walsh and ultimately just put him away with that fastball high in the strike zone. A great 3-2 pitch and just a key second out for Jefferson.
And like we've seen in the first game, a pivotal at-bat in the Petrick spot, and it's going to be Ian Vertucci this time, the freshman in limited at-bats, 357 hitter. And we've already seen a freshman come off the bench and prove pivotal for a team today. We'll see if Vertucci from North Palm Beach, Florida, can do the same. Single won't tie it, potentially. Well, we'll get him closer, and is down 0-2.
Just looking to pass the baton. That's your only job right now at the plate.
2 runs, double 3 RBI, hit by pitch, and 1 for 2 stealing bases. Again, very limited at bats. Does have 2 strikeouts. Chopper, third base, hasn't been guaranteed, but didn't need to throw it. As Hollab just goes to the bag himself, and damage done. They inch closer, down by just 2 as we are going to the bottom of the 6th. A tough ride here, but Carback gets out of it, and he is almost at 120 pitches. We'll see if his day is done or if the trend continues and they keep pushing their starter. So new center fielder, much like in Game 1. Eventually Matt Murphy found his way into this game in center field. Made a pretty pivotal catch, if I'm not mistaken, in Game 1. We'll see if the ball finds him, as Gendy's still out there, and I'm sure they're going to run his arm dry here.
I would guess he's the most trusted arm left in that stable Felician bullpen. And so, in this situation, now only a 2-run game and only 3 to 4 more half innings to go here for Felician offensively. You got to guess that you're just going to let it ride here with the guy you trust the most.
All right, you're trying to parlay a crooked number up to a 0 for the other team. It's a good spot to do it. Capers is over 2. Tiburcio over 2. You will have to face off against Moore. Remember, he tweaked something out there in right field. Maybe the bat that's going to be affected. He did fly out in the 4th inning. I forget whether that at-bat came before or after they had a check on him out there in right field. But either way, maybe not 100% on a swing, so that's better. He's beaten you twice. Stolen a couple of bases already. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And the saunter back to the dugout for Capers, who struck out for the 2nd time.
And in a day and age where we're so focused on velocity from a pitching standpoint, it's really nice to see so many pitchers today have a lot of success utilizing their breaking stuff. And right now, Gendy's just the latest example of that. That was a beautiful breaking ball to get the swing and the miss.
A little cut to that fastball potentially, and Tiburcio is down. Had a real fun. Made a lot of fans, I venture. I know me. Made a fan out of me after his 4-hit performance. We had 2 bunt singles and a double that roped down the line, and his energy in center field is...
his center field prowess has been really impressive today. He has made a couple of great plays in what is widely considered the hardest outfield position to play and one of the hardest in the sport.
He's a little bit quieter here, at least offensively, in Game 2. Struck out in the 4th and grounded out on 1 pitch in the 2nd. And a 1-2 count for him. Pitch delivered and swing and a miss again. 3 up, 3 down since Gendy has entered the game, all via the strikeout, all via the swinging strikeout. He's feeling it.
Real opportunity to continue to grab momentum and swing that flow back onto your side. If you're a Felician here, a quick inning would do wonders for the morale.
Dominican-born outfielder. And on the website, the hometown, there isn't one, just Dominican Republic. So I guess he's the whole island, and that's fine. Studying business management here in his senior campaign, OPS north of 1,000. And we talked about him, had a little bit of a tweak of something after he kind of made a cross-body catch and stayed in the game and had produced a couple of singles. That was well before that. So we'll see, again, speculating potentially not 1,000% coming into this at-bat, but it's the playoffs. You can't come out with your...
Well, if that swing's any indication, I mean, that was an inside fastball he just was a mile out in front of. So
seems like he's all right. Has a couple more stolen bases a day. He's approaching 20 at 15 coming into play today, and including all of today. Again, most of these stats we're giving you out are before the first pitch was thrown of the day, so some of these will be updated overnight by both of us, and a little outdated here, but still relevant. It's not too far from the truth. Full count, 2 out for number 18, big right fielder. Trying for another strikeout. He will settle for the walk.
Good at bat right there. Exactly what you need from your veteran presence leadoff hitter and Beato Mora right now, excuse me. I mean, Gendy's dealing 3 strikeouts in a row and 3 batters faced, so hey, just take a patient approach at the plate, battle, and get yourself on base.
Egner with 2 singles and a strikeout. Kind of followed suit, playing copycat to Beato Mora as he is itching to get to second base. You see him kind of taunting the pitcher almost on the base paths close to first base. We'll see if he likes this spot to go.
He already has 2 fastball back in my high school days.
It's a juicy pitch. This one, Tapper over to short. And fired over just in time. Skrivanik has the arm. We've seen that already today plenty of times. And a 0 on the board, exactly what you want to do after cutting the lead in half, essentially, for your opposition. We are in the top of the 7th inning towards this final stretch of day 1 of the championship series in the CACC. So we are on the top of the 7th inning, and guess who's still on the mound? Again, is this Grady Little 4.0? 122 pitches after that one, and
this is something else. It's really borderline unbelievable. As you mentioned, Cody, he threw close to 140 only 7 days ago. So we're getting near 300 pitches in the course of a week. I mean, still about 40 to go, but unbelievable right here from Patrick Carback.
Yeah, 1-2 now here. Carback really going old school. This is Burt Blyleven type stuff.
Yeah, this is if you don't want to go too old school, and even in the World Series last year for the Dodgers, now I'm brain farting on his name.
Yamamoto
didn't do this.
Yeah, he picks up a K here. And down goes the lead-off hitter, and Skrivanik. That is the 7th through 6 1/3. 125 pitches, 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and still picking up Ks.
And I like that, actually. I think this is smart when you're getting to 125 pitches on the outing. I mean, Hayden Walters just wasn't taking the bat off his shoulders. Make him throw an extra one there.
Yeah, and they've been making him throw extra ones, as you said. It's only through 6 1/3. This is other way, and Holub, who was coming a little bit in, kind of bag level, grass level, shoots it right past him. And Walters had a single in the 7th back in the first game, which started a rally where they ended up getting really, really close. They've already started that rally here, but continuing it here with a single. Like you said, when Walters is good, Felician's doing good.
Yeah, and remember, Walters really got robbed of a base hit by Carback himself last time out. Yes. It was a fantastic play by him. So, when he starts swinging the bat well, especially as a leadoff man, the rest of the team tends to follow. Tough take that time. Ends up working out in his favor, but stone cold from Jose David Medrano, excuse me.
(2-0) here.
Medrano's already gotten on base via a battle of a walk. I mean, those are 2 really close pitches. Both worked in his favor to take him.
Throw comes in well high. You can tell just missing high or not following through with your mechanics. as the 130th pitch is above the zone. Comes in, strike one on the get me over. Walters 23 out of 27 stealing. Again, kind of late in this game. You only have X amount of outs to play with. Behind, you're not really stealing, but if you think you have a good jump, go get them. We've seen the pickoff move be real good, and you've seen ball four for now the third time. All three coming in the last couple innings. And this could be it. They're going to look to the bullpen, and Carback is out of this game. 132 innings, a valiant performance, but 2 left on. Was it a little bit too late? The question you've been asking all day. We'll see you when we get the new pitcher, and we'll let you know. So here we go. De La Cruz will have to face off against
Jake Bauman, the 5'11" right-hander out of Delran, New Jersey. Bauman this year, 12 appearance, or this is his 12th appearance, 6.52 ERA, 38 2/3 innings of work. He's walked 23, struck out 35.
He knows this park well, a former post player. And he gets the fastball to be fouled off, 0-2. So 1 out in the inning. And the book isn't officially closed on Carback, but we're going to tell you the incredible numbers he throw up as soon as that does become official.
This feels like the at-bat. Haven't been able to get De La Cruz out today.
Lunges out and fights it off. A big swing by De La Cruz. He has a double, a home run, and a walk. On the finer blasts, you'll see down the left field line, all 350 plus of it.
That's following a 3-for-5 day, by the way, in Game 1.
From your catcher, who's catching all these innings.
Yep.
Is life real? Who knows? 0-2, and that is blocked by Fernando Gomez. You've seen that kind of in baseball, instead of going over to block with a full body, kind of open the palm up and just try to block get as much surface area. I see. Yeah, I agree.
I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest with you. I think it's risky, and especially late game moments like this, It makes me nervous.
If it works out, cool. But if it works out, and guess who? De La Cruz. I called him a beast earlier. This will just be station to station as a liner low. The runner at second base, being Walters, had to make sure that got through the infield. But another runner on. Bases are drunk here in the 7th for Bauman, who now has to work with the bases loaded, one down.
This top of the order today for Felician, especially in the second half of this game, has really come through big time. And it started with De La Cruz all the way back in the 4th inning, but since then you can look at each rally where it started, and you can look at one of the first 3 batters in this lineup.
Just how you drew it up. Bresniak had a single on the 6th, trying to be the hero here of Game 3. Take strike 1.
You know Bresniak's got the power to not just tie up this game, but potentially give Felician the lead as well.
This is sinking fast, and a dive leaves the feet by Tiburcio. A run will score, but could have been much worse. He's been such a treat to watch today.
Man, it might not show up in the scorebook all the time, but what an unbelievable job Jordan Tiburcio has done all around the diamond today. Just another tremendous play in center field, and I guarantee you this game would be tied, if not worse, if he did not make that catch. Just a tremendous, possibly season-saving play by Tiburcio.
He has had his fingerprints in both games he's played today, offensively, defensively, base running. Without him, this is a whole different story for Jefferson. With 2 outs now, they still allow the 1 run to Felician, who have scored all of these runs unanswered. It was 5-0 at the end of the 3rd inning. Since then, just clawing here, clawing there, snaking here, and it's 4-5 all of a sudden off 7 hits.
Ooh.
Up and in, chin music for Curry.
I'm still having a hard time getting over that Tiburcio catch. That was unbelievable.
And that might be his 4th best catch of the day,
seriously.
Which is also a true fact.
Just given the magnitude, though, just so impressive.
You see a lot of Tiburcio on highlight reels from us this summer, I'll tell you that. 1 ball, 2 strikes, just 1 strike away from getting out of it. See if they can do it. Bauman works with 2 on, 2 gone, and 2 strikes to Curry. The 1-2. No bite.
Good take. Tough take.
Yeah. And 2 2/3 from Vicio, 2 innings from Sansone, 1 1/3 from Gendy to keep them in it. And I think that's been the theme today. The team from behind, the pitching doing enough to keep them in it. Garbach, 6 1/3. Again, his day isn't officially over. He is responsible for that run that did come across, so now pushes his total to 4 runs, 4 earned.
He still is responsible for that runner on second base as well.
Yep, so not officially a closed case. Jefferson trying to avoid heartbreak for the 2nd straight game. Outside corner, got him! Rung him up on the outside corner, backwards K from Bauman. Wasn't a pretty inning. They do allow 1, but some highlights thrown in there, and they do preserve the lead. We are stretching for the 3rd time today. I think this qualifies this booth as a yoga class. Cody Shalfu, Max Stapleton, and a whole happy crew here as we hit the bottom of the 7th inning. A big strikeout. Big is an understatement by the big man, Jake Bauman. First pitch slapped into the air and patrolled by the new center fielder, Murphy. Forgot to make that change in my scorebook. Good thing I remembered. And that's going to be F8 to begin potentially Gold Hill's final at-bat, which this is your golden chance to catch insurance. This is your heart of your lineup coming up here as Holub and Coyne are up next. Holub's had a tough day 2, but a pretty good game 1, for at least for him. And then Coyne has been kind of the lucky guy here.
Looks like our home plate umpire might be having a little dirt in the eye there, causing a quick pause. I haven't seen that in quite a while.
Tough.
But no, you're exactly right. And right now the momentum is all on Felician's side despite trailing by a run here. So if you're Jefferson, you're looking at one of your star players, one of the 3 offensive players who made the all-conference teams, to try to get that momentum right back and make it at least a 2-run ball game.
So 2-0 as that one goes off the glove. And some highlight plays while Hall was at bat. A highlight ground out in the 5th, and then a highlight as the wild pitch. Remember the wild pitch sequence where it almost scored 2 runs. And, hey, if that run does score, that's not a big run.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's a 2-run cushion, which is still scarce, but you feel a lot better than the 1 run. This is popped up as it will be 2-2 the count. It's a long day for all of us. And 1 down on the 1-pitch fly out to Gold Hill. It's been kind of quiet all day. That's it back.
If Felician finds a way to come back and win this game, I think we're going to look at the scorebook and we're going to say the combined, at least as of right now with this at-bat still to go, combined 0 for 6 between Gold Hill and Holub would be key for Felician.
Huge. There's a walk mixed in there, but again, no damage done. Out in front, this one's tough, falling fast, and that will find some grass. So they will finally, those 2 combine for at least a hit. But like I said, not much damage.
Yeah, and still to be determined. And who knows? There's no clock on baseball. There's still a long way to go in this one. There's definitely a chance that they each come up to the plate another time.
Yep.
But for right now, you would like to rely on those 2 if you're Jefferson. And the good news for Jefferson is that you have a 1-run lead and 5 runs scored with those 2 not really producing in this game.
One of those silver linings they talk about. Coyne, who has been a silver lining, has to limbo out of that away of that one. An error he reached on the first, which helped score a run for Jefferson in that pretty yakety sacks first inning. And then 2 singles since then. See a wing and a miss.
Believe it or not, that's only the first base hit and the second base runner that Gendy has given up since coming into this game. So he has been an extremely good shutdown relief pitcher for Felician today and this season in general.
And again, had a pretty big performance against Post. And he went 60 pitches and kind of held down the fort.
Such a luxury to have in your bullpen, a guy who can go 3+ innings consistently like that and really just give you some extra length.
And that's left high.
You saw it with Borgman earlier as well for Wilmington in Game 1 of the second round, but it's a little more common at this level. It's still really not that common.
Yeah, 2 1/3 against Post, though, those 60 pitches. 2 performances against there, a 3-inning day, a 4-inning day. He's had some 1-outs, 2-outs here and there, but he's gone pretty deep into his relief outings a good amount of times. A strikeout there, another one for him, I believe his 4th. And first since he struck out the first 3 batters he saw. Now, Mallon, the last starter to not face Gendy here coming up.
Certainly a dangerous one as well. Mallon's had a really good day at the plate here in Game 2, and he's come up in some big moments, not necessarily for RBIs, but When we talk about passing the baton, he has done that really well today.
First pitch miss is for Mullen, who walked, singled, struck out. Not exactly in that order. It's Hollowed over there at first base. He's had a tough day at the plate, other than that single that blooped in. A tough day in the field. A couple errors here in this game as well.
Uncharacteristic for such a talented player in Holland.
And you've mentioned a couple times, probably the hottest hitter in the conference coming in, especially over the last couple of weeks. He's been scorching.
I'd say so. And even though he's been especially good in the last couple of weeks, it's been consistent throughout the season as well. I mean, he's reached in every single game he has played. I haven't heard of something like that.
Yeah, that is quite a feat. This team went 40-17 last year, a program record 40 wins, lost in CACC championship weekend, and are here again. Selected as a regional host in the NCAA tournament, but sent home by Franklin Pierce in a winner-take-all game. A game away from advancing to the Super Regional, as they will strike out here. We'll put a pin in it and pick it back up in the top of the next inning. The 8th inning we go, and still a lot to be decided here. Will Felician's comeback fall short, or will they finally take the lead or tie this ball game up? We'll have to wait and see. So due up would be Polanco, Walsh, and then whoever decides to bat in the Petrick spot. We've seen that spot get passed around a good amount of times already today. Murphy would be slated, but I'm sure they probably will make a switch, but we'll have to wait to find out. Polanco, strikeout, reaching an error, and then an F9 his last time up, which was last inning. Ooh. And that got him? Yes, it did. He'll get on the hard way.
Hey, but you'll take it right now if you're Felician and Ernesto Polanco. You got plenty of time left in this game. You only need one to try to tie it up. And, boy, how heartbreaking would it be for Jefferson if they find a way to give up 2 4-run leads in back-to-back games like this.
And Walsh will represent the go-ahead run now. One swing could tie this up or even take the lead. They're going to try to bunt him over. We've seen that go very well for teams this today.
And this is a spot where I really like the decision to try to bunt him over. I think it makes a ton of sense here.
And then you can play a matchup probably with the next spot.
Yep.
Look at us thinking on the same page.
And you know what they say, great minds think alike.
Can't quite get it down. Again, not a skill that's really practiced a whole bunch, most likely in circles here.
Something that's made look easier than it really is as well oftentimes. I think people underestimate how hard bunting is.
And as a kid who was not good enough to swing the bat and was asked to bunt a lot, I can tell you it's not easy. But also, I don't think I'm the one to tell you that. Nothing was easy when I had a bat in my hand, unfortunately. 2 balls, 1 strike here for Walsh, who has put together a 1-for-3 day. Came in for a at-bat in Game 1 today, well back probably 13 hours ago now, and sits here as a starter. We'll let it go, and good eye. It's a real good pitch, but it also might be one that you could go to get it down. The ball's down, traveling down, probably an easy one to go.
So that was my thought process exactly. I mean, look, it's a ball, so it ends up being a good take, but it's not the worst pitch you're going to get in this at-bat to try to get down for a bunt.
So 3-1. He will still square over early, and that will be full. And, again, we've already asked you the question, if you're hell-bent on getting this bunt down, do you go with it?
I would say no, personally, especially with how the bunts have looked, right? He hasn't gotten one in fair territory yet. So, if you bunt it in foul territory, this is a big strikeout here if you can get it on the mound for Baumann as well. So I would not want to give him the opportunity to get that momentum.
I think I'd be okay with it. This is a guy that's been a 300 hitter in limited at-bats, so I think I'd let him rock. And this gets away, and this could be, it's a nice, actually a friendly bounce off the backstop back into Fermetta Gomez's glove, but could have been a pretty disastrous walk/wild pitch combo. And the first true base on balls, not including the hit by pitch we just saw here from Baumann. And you got to wonder, he has not looked sharp. Is there a leash for him? But again, who would it be?
Yeah, what a difference just a half an inning makes, right? Like, that was a big strikeout for Baumann. He got to end the frame in the 7th and got a little bit of help from his fielders as well on that sacrifice fly, but just has looked shaky here coming out for the 8th.
And they will keep Murphy out there, who is a lefty, so he plays the matchup, and they're going to ask him just get it down. And again, it's worked well for all teams here today, trying to get the bunt down.
If it made sense with 1 man on and nobody out, it makes even more with 2 on and nobody out.
Yeah, trying to put 2 ducks on the pond, a strike called, and Felician meets that with a raucous 1-1. And that's not the one you want to go after. I think seeing that strike in the same spot made him think he had to get that one over. And now he puts into a 2 count. Now, I'm okay with it here. With 2 on, you still have a runner in scoring position and a guy that's probably not the best bat, just a 250 bat and a 583. I'm okay with it here. Now, I'm on record. I'm fine with it. If you really want it down, I understand your side, but I'm fine if you want to let Murphy do it. They're going to take it off, which is also fine.
Yeah, there's a couple different sides to it, right? You got maybe it's your best chance to get aboard if you got some wheels, but on the other side as well, this is one of the few righty-lefty matchups you have in your lineup today. I would try to take advantage, especially with 2 strikes here.
Murphy from Williamstown, New Jersey, Business Administration, takes ball 3. It's a real good pitch, but a even better take.
The courage, and I want to say something else, but, can't really go on air, but the courage that, Murphy has to take that pitch, it's impressive.
5-4. Huge pitch. Chopper, this could be 2. They're going to shuffle over to first base, and too much speed going up the line. So a fielder's choice as the return throw from Egner, just not enough mustard on it.
All right, so interesting to see how Felician will want to play this alignment defensively. You got runners on the corner, so a double play does end the inning, but if you're not able to turn 2, it'll tie the game. So do you bring the whole infield in here?
I think they're at the moment electing corners. That gives a big gap to the left side.
Huge.
And it's going to be to the right side. So anything that's not up the middle or right down the line is going to burn you, and they are going to bring in Sear Sanchez, who was brought in a big moment in the first game. Sanchez, I believe, struck out in that attempt.
got a ton of pop out of the left-handed batter's box. And once again, Felician deciding to play the matchup game here, righty on lefty.
And kind of do it now, think about it later because you're in that spot, but also takes Skrivanik out of the game, too. So, again, you got to get the offense now. You get the worry about the defense later, but that's a big part of what's kept Felician in these games are some big plays from shortstop that they won't have, at least from him.
Absolutely.
But this is much worth it, trying to get that run 90 feet across home plate. Runner goes for second base. It's a great pitch to run on. Obviously wanted to bait the throw and try to play some trickery there, but just a great pitch is that one in the dirt, stolen base, and a 2-1 count.
It's really kind of a win-win situation when you decide to take off with runners on the corners there, because either he throws it down and you got a chance at scoring the runner. That happens, and now you got two in scoring position.
Now the infield is in. Takes away the double play as well, most likely. Have to be very unconventional to get it. And 3-1 count, maybe you just give it to him?
No, because you have Hayden Walters on deck.
That's true.
And you do not want to face that guy with the bases loaded. You need to get this batter right here. You do not want to give him a free pass.
Center field. This could tie it up at least. Good throw by Traducio, and they're not even going to try it. And that is a tie ball game. And for the second time we've seen in total today, a pinch hit plate appearance does the job and ties up the game.
Really good piece of hitting that time for Nessier Sanchez. Got ahead in the count 3-1, knew that he was going to get a fastball, and did exactly what you're supposed to do. Just get it up in the air. That's the only thing asked of you in that moment, and he did it very well there. And once again, a brand new ball game, potentially entering the ninth inning.
All right, we still got a duck on the pond here, and you talk about Walters, who is shown to come up late here today at least, looking for another hit late, which would kind of duplicate his performance from Game 1 against Wilmington. Bauman's still out there. He is working on 30 pitches now, 162 total pitches thrown by Jefferson in this game alone between the two pitchers. There's still another inning for them to throw regardless. And I think some movement down there, but it doesn't look like someone's actively warming. Could be either be stretching out or already warm and ready to go whenever Skip gives the signal. Strike on the inside to Walters, who we've identified as a threat. .302 hitter, 34 walks as well.
Oh, man. I don't know how you take that pitch if you're Hayden Walters as well. It's not a strikeout situation, but that might be the best pitch you're going to get all at bat to try to drive. It was a fastball pretty down the middle of the plate, and Walters just watched it go by.
First team All-CACC, two-time second team All-Region in his career, the senior from Coral Springs, Florida.
You can see Walters right now just walking around the batter's box, taking a few deep breaths. This is a big moment, not just in the season, but in these very young careers. I mean, these are memories that you can make for a long time here if you find a way to come back and win this game for Felician.
They will gesture over to second base.
Same case goes for Bauman out on the mound. If you find a way to get out of this jam, I mean, what a performance it could be for him.
Pitch to Walters. Here it comes. And he's just off it. Remember, they do have to replace Skrivanik over there at shortstop. We'll see if they try to do it internally on the field or who comes in and where. See if they move somebody around or just straight up replace shortstop. Already shuffled around the 8 and 9 spots a couple of times here, and Felician has shown that earlier in the day and have continued to employ that strategy. And that's going to hit them. They miss. And miss bad and gets number 4 on the leg.
Just a tough mistake, and a mistake you really couldn't afford to make there. And a 2-2 count with 2 outs. And now you got the heart of the order coming up. You did not want to hit that batter. Unfortunately, it looks like Baumann might be having some sort of issue here on top of the mound visit in general as well. Immediately, he was kind of pointing to his wrist. So
he will exit the game nonetheless, and we will be back with you in a moment. 2 hit by pitches in the inning, a walk, a fielder's choice, a sacrifice fly, and a tie ball game when we return. 3 straight innings scoring for Felician. They might not be done. Sabian Rivera, who is donning 53, not 13, will come in. This is the man we speculated if there was a Game 3 for Jefferson, he'd be the man to go, but they need to get to Game 3 before. Again, 6 1/3 against Chestnut Hill in that winner-take-all to get here. He was pretty good, and we'll see what he has here.
Man, this is the outing of his career potentially for Sabian Rivera right now. A huge spot in this game.
Chopper foul. Needs just one more out to, again, put the Band-Aid back on. .132 pitches for Karbach, who, by the way, 6 1/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned, 3 walks, 7 Ks is his final line. Rivera misses for the first time. Baumann, an inning and a third, 35 pitches, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned, 1 walk, but 2 hit by pitches, 1 strikeout, and still responsible for the runners on. Jose David Medrano. Two-two, pop straight up. We've seen this not be an automatic out. And it's going to fall. Foul. And again, for Meta Gomez. Can't squeeze it. This time misses it. And we will replay 2-2.
I mean, it's a really hard play for Meta Gomez. He had to dive straight back behind himself to try to make that catch, but at the same time,
that's up there. Yeah, straight up is tough. Like, it is tougher than like a fly ball in the outfield that's dropped.
But it's a play I think you're expected to make, and
yes.
you know, just a brutal potential chance here for Felician once again getting a second chance.
His error earlier didn't come back to haunt them. And I think he got lucky again this time. Holub, just like in the end of the 6th inning, steps on the bag and does it himself. But another run comes across. It is tied. 5-5 as we head towards the back end of this one. Bottom 8 up next here from Waterbury, Connecticut. So a little bit of a substitution here. It's going to be Jeremy Espinal is going to come in. Again, it was the Skrivanik spot that we were trying to figure out. It's going to be him over to second base. Polanco will shift over to third base, and Walters, who've been playing the hot corner all day, will move up into shortstop. And that's going to be your defensive alignment here with everything else playing the ultimate you good bro team here today. Because they saw their potentially a winner's bracket game tomorrow fade very quickly, and now a 4-run lead again built up in this one that they have again squandered. And it's just been little by little. They haven't thrown up anything offensively those 4 innings. And that's back to the pitching staff. They've done enough. Gendy has done enough. Sansone has done enough. This one's popped up, playable. We got a lot of foul territory. Will it stay foul? Will it stay fair? Madrano is there under it. Parked his car right under it or a second before it dropped.
Actually, I thought it was going to go foul the entire way, but it ended up being a fair ball. So good on Madrano for not giving up on that play as well.
Again, we do know the wind has kind of changed courses, but still has, for history has told us today, it's been moving. And a new pinch hitter coming up for the Jefferson Rams. It's Jay Salisbury, a 171 hitter here for Trip Capers, who has not had a good day. And despite what his name might say, he has not been good here today at least. So we'll see if Salisbury was Player of the Year, All-State, All-Group, Sectional Champ in high school, basically did it all, studying engineering.
Ooh.
So very much smarter than I am. Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. That's swinging this. What's up with New Jersey doing townships? I feel like you guys in Ohio, every town is township. What's the deal with that?
I don't know, but I don't question it. But interesting decision here to bring in Salisbury because he's won for his last 14 at the plate right now. Make it 15.
Yeah, if you're looking on the batting average, it definitely favors capers. The on-base does too, but I guess the on-base numbers are decently high for Salisbury, but he goes down pretty quickly. And flailing now is the Jefferson offense.
And how about 6 strikeouts in this game for Gendy? And remember, he only came in with 2 outs in the 5th inning, so some really impressive shutdown stuff from one of the most trusted relievers for this Felician bullpen.
He backs out of the way and takes strike 1. DiBercio, who has been, as we said multiple times, a joy to watch today. As we hit the 11th hour.
Yeah, and even when it's not working at the plate for DiBercio, like it's not so far here in Jefferson's second game, it has been working in the field and then some. He has been stellar out there in center.
Fly ball, right field coming in is Bresniak, and he'll drop it. It's foul. He drops it. Oh. Another play that should have been made. And he was on the run, but luckily for him, that's right on the foul line, and that stayed foul. If he touched it while in fair territory, but did have the body mostly over, and that could have been disastrous. Not only did he not get the out, that could have been a double.
I know it's a fairly obvious statement too, but it really is just the next big punch. It's more than likely going to win this game. So talk about how this is a game of inches right there that likely saved a runner from going into scoring position.
That one flared out, and now both teams have dropped some pretty routine, not quite routine, but still some that they should have come up with. And
right, and not scoring position, I should say. I more meant preventing a runner from not getting out.
Yes, no, definitely a trip up. Now, do you catch yourself or do you fall on your face is the question. And for the most part, these teams have caught themselves before going all the way down, but some innings have continued a little bit longer than expected because of it. It's left high.
Look at the intensity right now from Jordan DiBercio. You think this at-bat doesn't matter to him? I mean, in between every pitch right now, he's looking back towards his dugout, looking back towards Felician.
Leaves it alone.
I mean, look at him. He is walking to the Felician dugout after every single pitch. I haven't seen anything like this before.
He's definitely getting his steps in. 3 balls, 2 strikes. This is a pretty big pitch. You don't want to put some speed on the base paths. Here it is. And swing and a miss. And this time he'll walk towards his own dugout. And that's probably going to fire up Felician as well.
I mean, the whole dugout for Felician right now is going towards DiBercio and right back at Jefferson. This is a 5-5 game into the 9th. My goodness.
Yeah, and some fire here late. Like you said, 5-5. We're tied. To the 9th we go. We'll see you then. So Sabian Rivera back out there for the 9th inning. It's the Big Boppers coming up here for Felician. And on the other side, once we get there, Big Boppers coming up for Jefferson as well. So the right part of your lineup for both teams coming up at the right time. And no hotter man in the state of Connecticut than Luis de la Cruz. He's a combined about 15 for 16 today, something like that.
Now, in actuality, he's 3 for 3 here in Game 2. He's 3 for 5 in Game 1. So my math is correct. That makes him a solid 6 for 8.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it.
I had to really think about that one, too.
Yeah, especially hour 10 of broadcasting, hour 11 of being here for both of us. But we're having so much fun, and we can't wait to do it all in an abbreviated stint tomorrow.
Truly doesn't get better than this. You think about the 3 games that we've had today.
All 3 have been so good.
Unbelievable.
And we've seen tournaments like this have a couple of stinkers, and this one has delivered in droves. 2 balls, 2 strikes. De La Cruz, a 2-out or a 2-strike base knock here to start a little bit of a rally would be the most on-brand thing of all time.
Oh,
that misses low.
Another just disciplined take right now from Felician. That was a tough pitch not to swing at, but it worked out really well for the veteran catcher.
And we've talked about pitch count so much, and all game they have been just making pitchers work. Chopper up the middle. Goldhill has time and throws his first baseman off the bag.
Oh.
De La Cruz does run well for a catcher, but that's an easy play. That E6 comes and creeps up on Goldhill as he, again, throws coin off the bag.
There's just not much to say. These errors are so costly. That's now 4 of them for Jefferson here in this game, and it's a 5-5 ball game.
That's in there for a strike.
Got the most dangerous part of the order coming up, and there's not many more shortstops you trust more than Alexi Goldhill in the CACC. He's been as solid as a rock this year, but these high-pressure moments, they do weird things to people, and Goldhill right now, just a tough error for the shortstop.
And I said it last game where Goldie Beacom committed 4 errors, and we said if they lose this one, that number is going to look so large. And the same thing, this could be 2. Olive starts it, and they keep him on the bag, but almost tossed it into right field. What a play by Egner to potentially save the game.
An inch away from the 3rd error of the game on the third baseman, Andrew Holub, who this is also very uncharacteristic for. And as you mentioned, Cody, Egner just doing a tremendous job over at second base, hanging on to that ball, keeping a toe on the bag, and again, good discipline to not even try it to first and potentially commit another error.
Yeah, it would have been incredible to just knock it down, not even get the out, but just prevent it, but not only toe the bag while doing so. And we talked about Curry being due. Well, he cashed in the 6th. He still have enough due points left to go here in the 9th. He is 1 for 4 in this game. Slaps it and past Holub, the dive into left field, and a single moves the line up. And it's Bresniak at second base, and now Bryce Curry with his second single of this ball game. And Rivera, 17 pitches, that being his first hit given up.
And he's a little bit frustrated right now on the mound. Just kind of slammed the ball back into his glove and then covered his mouth, assumed he's talking to himself. So hopefully right now for Sabian Rivera, an experienced pitcher, a senior out of Philly, just trying to settle himself down. Did a great job coming in relief last frame in a big spot. Now in a big spot once again.
Oh, maybe he could have gone there, but Bresniak tends back. We talked about 40 wins for Jefferson last season. Cut that in half, basically. They're at 24 coming into today. They're 24-21 when you count their loss earlier to Goldie Beacom. Definitely a turbulent season that they're trying to still navigate. Again, for those just joining us, hi, you missed a lot. Cody Shalafu, Max Stapleton here. Game 3 of our triple header here in the CACC Championship. Day 1. This is our first elimination game. Whoever wins this one, we'll see you tomorrow. Whoever loses this one, we'll see you next year.
You can feel how the energy has picked up over the last couple of innings, the intensity. None more intense than right now.
2-1, fouled straight back. We mentioned kind of the sense that you're on it. As Polanco, the new third baseman, started the day and played most of the day at second base. But shifted over after Skrivanik.
Now we get a pinch runner.
Now, as you said, now we're pinch hitting, running, and this is going to be in Quinto, I believe. I can pick the right team.
Yep, this is Thomas Ian Quinto. Pinch running at second base now as Rocco Brezniak's day is done.
Yeah, so an interesting to do it then, like you mentioned. It's 2-2, and this is a couple batters since he's been on second base. So will that prove to be a very valuable decision? We'll have to just wait and see. And Quinto does play as a utility role because can play everywhere. Up the middle, and Rivera kind of knuckled on him. They're going to not get the run and throws it away. They will tag the runner. I see an out sign, but no. Yes, they will. So they'll get the out. The tag was applied, but then jettison into the stands, and now Felician with the lead. Another error.
The 5th of the game for Jefferson. And right now, Felician's trying to argue that they did not make the tag over on second base. At least from over here, it looked like Egner did make the tag, and that is what the umpire ruled on the field. Oh, no, excuse me. They're actually arguing that because of the dead ball, the runner's going to move up to second base, which he is.
And this has looked like it's going to bring in a pinch runner. Curry's sitting here. Okay, so here's the situation. You had Curry on first base. You had the runner at second base. So Curry would have been the man tagged out. He's going back over there. Again, I guess they're also arguing that I kind of don't think the tag was applied. The way that the throw came out seemed like, oh, shoot, I missed him. I have to get this to first base.
I think it's, I'm not sure. We didn't have the best angle on it from up here.
And
what I don't see is the umpires changing the call.
No, I don't believe we have replay available for a call like that. And even then, I don't think we have a great enough angle. And I think the decision will be made. Regardless, it's Felician in the 11th hour, literally, with the lead, as they have climbed all the way back, and due to some help from Jefferson's defense, has gone 6 unanswered and has put up runs in each of the last 4 innings.
Yeah, and that's a 2-base error right there on the second baseman, Justin Egner, for Jefferson. And it ends up going as an unearned on Rivera's line, but I don't really think he cares about that right now.
So an error, fielder's choice, single error the fielder's choice.
Just heartbreaking. Oh, and the other part of that was that there's no RBI as well for Ernesto Polanco because it was a 2-base error.
Yep. And there, 2 strikes to Walsh. Have you ever had a crazier day in baseball?
Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answers to.
I've had some fun ones, but this might be.
Yeah, this is definitely up there for sure.
And we got 2 more days of this, brother. We are still going.
I mean, look, you can't ask for much more if you're a baseball fan. All 3 of these games, I believe, have been decided by, well, not technically 1 run, but the only non-1-run game was a walk-off
home run. Yeah, it has been the last 2 innings have told us the victor, and hasn't been the one starting the game up on top usually. As
still far from over.
Right. Felician tried their comeback attempt against Wilmington. It was a couple runs in the 7th inning, which we thought little of until we looked at the final score and realized that's your difference in game 1 of today. And now have climbed back all these hours later and would hate to see another comeback attempt foiled. Again, 8:15 was the start time of this one. We are over 3 hours old. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Walsh. Liner, this is going to split the outfielders, and that's going to be another run. So here comes the cushion, and Polanco, number 2, makes it 2 runs. It's 7-5.
What a job well done by Braden Walsh. The first baseman for Felician was 1 for 3 entering that at-bat, but just battled and battled and battled and waited for his pitch and finally got one he could hit on the outside corner and just ran with it, going the other way. A beautiful piece of hitting right there for the Felician first baseman, and it gives him a 2-run cushion.
7 unanswered runs. And like we mentioned, it's going to be the top of the lineup for Jefferson. Runners off, going for second base. The throw is high, and a stolen base by Walsh, adding on.
I like the idea there from the shortstop Goldhill as well, who tried to fake Walsh out, made it seem like the ball went by him, and was hoping to get that little extra out. Didn't work out in his favor, but you got to appreciate the effort.
Oh, if I'm Walsh, I'm holding second base. Even if I see them throw it into the stands, I'm holding on to second base with dear life. So a valiant effort, but no dice on the fake out. And this one's going to miss well wide. 1 ball, 1 strike to Murphy, who we thought, hey, probably a pinch hit for guy, but now taking his second plate appearance. Fielder's choice, got halfway to third base before being the final out on a fielder's choice himself. Crazy is too light of a word.
No kidding.
For how today, especially this game, has gone.
It just looks like Rivera having a good amount of trouble here finding the strike zone. Starting to lose in the last 3 batters or so after being really consistent in the first 4 he faced. Of course, didn't get helped out. A couple of errors in this inning as well.
4 seed by nature has the toughest time and had to face off against number 1 Wilmington. Almost knocked them off, but were just left at the doorstep and have climbed back from a 5-0 hole and scored 7 unanswered runs, with 6 of them coming in the last 4 innings, and maybe still more to go as Murphy, a big base on balls to get him over, and the first true walk given up by Rivera. Runners on first and second, and 2 down.
It does look like they're going to stay with Espinal here, who came in as a pinch fielder in the last half frame. Not really a whole lot of opportunities hitting-wise. Some good numbers, but only 51 at-bats this year, so limited opportunities for the sophomore. We'll see if he can come through.
7 walks, 11 strikeouts. Looks like comes in as a pinch hitter a lot. Has 14 runs. Seems a lot for a guy of his workload offensively. And the temperatures dropped probably to the mid-40s.
It changes quickly up here in Waterbury, that's for sure. When we started today, it was, dare I say, a balmy 56 degrees outside. It's now 10 degrees colder, actually 11 at 45.
What a game. Jefferson twice has seen a lead vanish in the ends of these games.
Heart breaks a little bit for them, doesn't it? You blow a 4-run lead in game 1, and then you blow a 5-run lead in game 2.
Has to, yeah.
It's the Two ends of sports. On one side, you got the absolute just sheer joy you saw from Goldie Beacom when they hit that walk-off home run for Jefferson. Just the opposite end of the spectrum, and right now in danger of feeling that for the second time today. Still 3 outs to work with, however, and we've seen crazier things happen, that's for sure.
So 2 on, 2 out in the top of the 9th inning. And like I said, Espinal's trying to do something. Try to bunt that one down maybe for a hit, catch everyone off guard. We talked about the fielding woes of Holub over there at third base today. So maybe try to make him make the final out. But, again, I think swing away here. The runner in scoring position. You're kind of more likely than not giving an out up.
I don't know if that's a call from the dugout or if that's Espinal's decision to try to square around there, but it sends an interesting message to the hitter if it's a call from the dugout. And interesting to try to pick off move to first there, not second.
I think trying to, with that knowledge, catch Murphy lacking at first base. And just a bizarre last 2 actions in this game, which I would expect nothing less from this game in particular. Top of the zone for strike 2 on Espinal.
Great opportunity here to keep this game close.
From Yonkers, New York, even though the 4 seed, almost 10 more wins overall than Jefferson has Felician. The Golden Falcons trying to stay alive. Up in the air, very playable. Coins is there, and he got it. It was an adventure, but he got it. Max, we set it up for the bottom of the 9th. Some hits, and a lot of errors here as 5 total and a backbreaker potentially. An RBI single as well. Puts 2 on the board. 7-5 Felician. Gendy, can you close it out? We will see. So here it is, sets you up for what could potentially be the final frame. It's the top of the order. Luis Beto, Moraz. We're going to have DeAngelis, I think, come in and play left field. It looks like the right fielder, Bresniak, who was taken out of the game, and his replacement would be
DeAngelis is coming into left, and I believe it's going to be Medrano moving
right,
over to right.
Which is the alignment from game 1.
Right.
So it's going to be Medrano in right field as we pause you on the catch-up. Murphy will be in center field as he has been. And now DeAngelis, who started and played all of game 1, will go into left field. But the scene here is set A sloppy defensive top of the frame for Jefferson put them in a 2-run hole now, and they have slowly seen their 5-run lead dissipate, and now have given up 7 unanswered runs. It's up to the offense, led by Luis Vieto Mora, who has 2 singles and a walk today. Justin Egner, 2 singles and a strikeout today, and Goldhill, who has a walk and a strikeout and a couple lineouts to center field. Olive has been quiet today, but we've talked about how well he's played in the playoffs. Could come down to him. This is the spot. You don't want to be in this spot down, but this is the best place to be given your circumstance for Thomas Jefferson University. Your season relies on your best hitters.
Yeah, it's definitely the 4 batters you want up if it even gets to 4, but Felician has had a good game plan against these top 4 hitters for Jefferson today. I mean, combined, there's only 4 times reaching base, so it's been impressive. And
thought they caught the corner. I think the mislocation is what tied up the umpire there. I think it's a strike, but because the glove moves so much, usually we see those not go the way of the pitcher.
Boy, I thought we had a sold-out crowd here for a second, but it was just the Felician dugout cheering for what they thought was strike 3.
Chopper. Walsh picks it up at first. Flip. In time. Gendy covers. 1 down.
Good job by Gendy getting over. Fundamentals all in check. And, man, we've seen some really good offensive performances. We've seen some really good pitching performances. But Gendy might be my Game 3 MVP over here. He has done a tremendous job just shutting down Jefferson when they needed it the most. And he'll actually be in line for the win should this result hold.
Right. Second straight outing, going 3+ innings in a pivotal playoff game. Over 60 pitches now for the second straight outing as well. Picks up 2 strikes and seems to just be on his P's and Q's here in the biggest moment of today. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The 8th strikeout. Again, matching his strikeout total the last time he went this deep, which was last time out against Post. And now just 1 out away and 2 runs to get for the Rams.
It's officially 4 innings of work, 8 strikeouts in relief for Gendy. What a performance.
Pitch 1 is high. Ball 1. Felician can feel it. The Rams.
On the other side, though, all you need, a bloop and a blast, and you know that blast is capable in the on-deck circle.
Outside part of the plate, yes, sir. Jefferson back against the wall. And now down to their final strike. What would be a heartbreaking day in Philadelphia. Multiple run leads squandered. And swing and a miss. Put a pin in it. Rams have been exited from the championship tournament, and Felician, maybe the gutsiest, hottest team coming into play, is your winner.
What a game. What a first day of this CACC tournament we were treated to. Felician, multiple comeback efforts throughout both of their games today. They were able to break through at the end of game number 3 here, and they'll move on to take on the loser of the opening game tomorrow between Wilmington and Goldie Beacom.
Probably the sweetest handshake line they've done this year. Again, their season marches on. A World Series participant last year, still alive. Like you said, we will see them in Game 2 tomorrow, taking on the loser of our Wilmington Goldie Beacom. And again, another elimination game coming up from here on out for Felician. But again, if any team has faced adversity in this day, it's been them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really impressive stuff from the Falcons overall, just in general, on how good they've been, the mental fortitude once again to just come back from multiple games and this time facing elimination. But Cody, I think you got to get down there and find your player of the game quickly.
Yeah, we will close it out then. Give us a moment, folks, as we set up for our player of the game interview. And again, 7-5, 7 unanswered for Felician. We'll talk with 2 players coming up shortly and close things out, set you up for what should be an even better day tomorrow. All right, Cody Shalfa back here with the 2-star players of the game, Nick Gendy and Luis De La Cruz. Nick, I'll start with you. The playoffs, you've elevated your game. That's back-to-back performances, over 8 strikeouts out of the bullpen, and you've kept your team alive. It was against Post, and now here to keep your season going. How locked in have you been? It's been fun to watch, I'll tell you that.
I mean, again, postseason, we're a different team. It's a different feeling, and I'll tell you right now, no one wants it more than this team right here, and I want to be the guy to pick our team up when we need it. So, again, our hitters did a great job fighting back into this game, and I knew it was up to me to keep us in it, so I had to lock in.
Yeah, one of the hottest teams coming in the tournament, one of the hottest pitchers, now one of the hottest hitters. Luis, it looks like a beach ball for you up there. You're smacking the ball over the park. I don't think that home run has landed yet that you hit earlier. Like, what does it feel to be that locked in at the dish?
It feels great. I was just trying to put the ball in play, so see it deep, try to work right center. They're trying to pitch. They have pitched me backwards a lot, so try to see the pitch up and not like chase down or don't change my approach because it's on my timing. So don't try to change my approach. Just see it up and just hit it.
All right, you guys have been a pleasure to watch today. I can't wait to watch you guys' run here. Hopefully it's a long one. Thank you guys so much. You guys get some rest, all right? Well, now I'm cold and wet, so that is going to be the end of what has been probably the best day in CACC baseball history. We have a lot to make up for tomorrow, and I'm sure we're going to deliver it to you. From Cody Shalfu, Max Stapleton, everyone working here at Post University putting on this tournament, we thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow, bright and early, 11 a.m., winner's bracket game.